Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to another Fantasy Haven live stream. It is your humble lord, the late Lord Haven, and guess what we're going to do? We're going to predict the finale of House of the Dragon Season 3 tomorrow on Sunday. Hot D is dropping. Well, technically it's Sunday for me. It's past midnight. I'm doing a bit of a... Wait. Let's just say I'm doing a bit of an all-nighter tonight. I'm working hard on the real Kristen Cole, and I've done most of the actual animation, but in terms of the clips, like the video clips for when I talk about the show, there's more to be done. So I'm like, screw it, I'm just going to work all night. I've got the coffee, I got the ice cream, I'm chilling, and I'll try and get it out early tomorrow so that when the new episode comes, boom, I can focus on new content. Quickie review. Who knows? I have animated videos in the pipeline. There are some book versus shows I might have to crank out depending on who dies in the finale. I don't know. I'm very, very busy. But I thought this would be a nice reprieve, a nice little interruption in between animating Kristen Cole getting sniped. To do a little prediction stream, because HBO finally dropped only a handful of stills, only a cluster of promo images, but we're going to look at the next time. Excuse me. Wait, give me a sec. Right, we're going to look at a cluster of what was I saying? The word clusters in my head. It's because I said it earlier. Oh yeah, we're going to look at the episode 8 trailer, then the stills, and then we're just going to discuss stuff. That'll be fun. Yay, let's go. Okay, everyone, before we begin, like the live stream if you wanna, subscribe if you wanna. Spoiler stream. Spoilers. I will keep warning throughout the stream, but I'm talking about Fire and Blood book spoilers. No leaks, because basically nothing about this episode has leaked, or at least I haven't seen anything leaked, and the episode itself has not leaked. So I don't know what's going to happen at all. I'm just going to guess, and we can chat about it purely based on what happens in Fire and Blood. So who knows? If you want to support the channel, feel free to send in a super chat asking a question or giving a theory or doing whatever. Or you can check out the description and donate via Streamlabs. So there's a Streamlabs link in the description, and that helps out the channel because I get 100% of that. Right. Should we begin? I did my usual 2-minute waffle to let people come in because I didn't promote this stream in advance. I didn't have it scheduled early. I just thought, oh shit, I haven't done a prediction stream yet, and I think Sunday's a bit too late. So let's just go, shall we? All right. Need some water. Thank you for the super chats that have already come in. I'll be answering them at the end of the stream, I think. Actually, no, I think I'll answer them as I go along. Yeah, this is a more chill stream. I'll answer them as I go along. But we'll do the trailer first. So, let's turn down desktop audio just a smidge. Well, there we go. Suspenseful music playing. Right, we get a shot to begin with of King's Landing, of course. Wait, why is there sea beyond the walls of the city? That shouldn't it just be a giant desert? Season 8 told me that King's Landing's surrounded by a giant empty desert on all sides, like New Vegas, within the Mojave. Oh, maybe. Rhaenyra, she's at the Valyrian model of her father. What's left of it. And she's staring at Viserys's crown. And she puts it down. What is she contemplating? How hard it's been to be queen, right? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Or is it the nature of queenship and the sacrifices she's made to get there, the trauma she's gone through, the difficulty in being on the throne in the first place, and everything blowing up in her face over the course of the season? Is she regretting that? Is she wishing she never became queen in the first place? Or is she solid? No, don't say low battery. Sorry. My headphones just screamed low battery in my ears. They're one of those ones where they're wireless, but there's a woman's voice going, low battery. Ah, complete jump scare, completely threw me off. What was I saying? Yes, either she's, oh god, I shouldn't be queen anymore, or she's doubling down and being like, yes, I am meant to be queen. It is my divine right. The gods gave me the dragon seeds, and the prophecy dictates I must win so that I can save the world from the apocalypse and all that stuff. She's like, yes, I am queen. Or is it the fact that it's Viserys's crown, the crown of the conciliator and the crown of the peaceful? Jaehaerys and Viserys, is she like, I need a new crown that best suits me? I'm fed up of my father's shadow looming over me and desperately trying to live up to not just his legacy as king, but almost trying to, in death, appease him. You know what I mean? Is she going to be like, screw this, I'm not carrying on the Viserys legacy, I'm doing my own thing? I'm going to have to be more ruthless, more hardcore, more like a conqueror. Who knows?
News of Aegon's
Yeah. And there's Alinda Massey, the goat, of course. Her good friend. Good to have some, just a female friend of hers who isn't really involved in the politics, you know, just a nice lady in waiting. She only really serves one purpose in Fire and Blood, which is to, like, tear her fucking, gouge her own eyes out during Rhaenyra's death scene. I don't think she's gonna do that next season. It would be weird if we just cut to Alinda Massey gouging her eyes out. It would kind of be like, it would slightly distract from the death scene. It's like, it's like how in A Storm of Swords, after the mountain crushes, or rather, smashes Oberyn Martell's face in with a mailed gauntlet, that Tyrion just vomits his breakfast up, his lovely Dawnish peppers, right, and eggs and so on. They cut that from the show because it would have been a distracting, gross out moment to have Oberyn's death, and then you cut to Tyrion just vomiting everywhere. Likewise, they're not gonna, you know. But yeah, we'll see what role she serves in the future. She's one of the more underrated Glupshatos, actually, Alinda Massey. Everyone focuses on Kristen's friend Sir Edgar, or Adrian Redfort, rest in peace. But you know, Alinda Massey, she's up there. I'm gonna do, when the season's done, I'm definitely gonna do like a ranking House of the Dragon Glupshatos stream, because why not?
Aegon's return has set the queen on a dark path.
News of Aegon's return has set the queen on a dark path. So, it sounds like, because of course we knew that a bunch of Mooten soldiers did flee. So, you know, most got, well, the chunk at the front and Wallace Mooten himself were disintegrated. A bunch of them fled into the woods. They're going to be spreading the word. Oh my God, Zombie Sunfire is back, and Aegon has reunited with him. So Rhaenyra's going to hear word of this, and no doubt she's not going to be happy, because she's already, like I said, looking pretty. She's been acting very tense and tired and impulsive, increasingly impulsive this season, and now she's going to be told, oh yeah, you know, you keep being stressed about Ormond in Tumbleton, and Vhagar's missing, but what's Aemond planning? Is he going to attack? And also, where's Aegon? Is he blah, blah, blah? And now it's like, oh yeah, not only has Aegon reemerged, he's reemerged with his dragon. You know, if you think that Adam and Seasmoke pledging their loyalty to you is a sign from the gods, and the dragon seeds, Hugh and Ulf getting Vermithor and Silverwing respectively, is a sign from the gods that you must be the queen. How are you going to say, if you've got that kind of mindset, how are you going to react to hearing Sunfire came from the dead and reunited with Aegon, who himself has Loki come from the dead? Like, yeah. I don't think she's going to take that news well. And here it says, news of Aegon's return has set the queen on a dark path. I do wonder what this means. Like, I'm guessing this is pre-Tumbleton. Worth stating, this episode will be a battle episode. Should have said that at the start. Very obviously, there'll be a big battle at Tumbleton. We'll get into that a bit later, and whether it will follow the book or not. But I'm assuming this is pre-Tumbleton, as in almost like a warning, a foreshadowing of things to come. I predict Rhaenyra is going to make a radical decision at Tumbleton that will backfire, and I think it'll be the most ruthless she's ever been. Or this is just yet another bit of blue balling from the writers of, now Rhaenyra, now she's going to go in an interesting direction. Now, whoa. she's gonna be ruthless now. She's gonna she's gonna be hardcore. She might even dramatically stare at the camera at the end of the episode. Who knows? Yeah, it could just be bullshit. But yeah, just to let people know, Fire and Blood spoilers. We're not doing leaks. And to be fair, I think a bunch of the leaks that have come out, I've avoided them. I hear they're all fake because it's people pretending they've had screeners. Episode 8 screeners were not given out, right? So the people saying that are trolling. Anyway.
Off.
Yeah. And then, yes, Rhaenyra kind of bit of a psycho stare. She just grabs Baela's face. Is this related to anything Baela says in the moment, or is this just a continuation of Rhaenyra's grief over Jace? Like, is it going to be their first proper conversation? Rhaenyra's like, "Oi, you're responsible for his fucking death," or could it be like Alan's like, "Hey, my niece, you're my new side hoe. Could you get me legitimized, please? Because she won't listen to Corlys, but maybe she'll listen to you, and then maybe we can marry the heir to Driftmark and you, Princess Baela. Let's marry." And she's gonna be like, "Hey, can you legitimize Alan?" And Rhaenyra might be like, "Don't you fucking tell me what to do. I'm not gonna legitimize bastards. That's too risky for me." Something like that. I don't know, but I can't deny that it's, too little, too late, that Rhaenyra is now being a bit more... I keep using the word ruthless, I need more synonyms, but acting just a little bit more kind of... Not crazy, because she was never crazy. She was never Maegor with teeth. That was always kind of silly. But, just being like, a hardcore warlord during a war and not just constantly prevaricating and wringing her hands and so on. It's a good vibe for her, but we just haven't seen enough of it. And I do think it's just too fucking late. But, not too late as in it can't happen, as in just it's too late to be as narratively satisfying as if. So my thought process is the kind of arc she's had this season should have been her season 2 arc, and her season 3 arc should have been beyond this point. But I do kind of wish I was Baela right now. I can't lie. What was that? Did I focus that line on dialogue?
News of
Yeah. Aegon, Dark Path, blah, blah, blah.
Aegon's return has set the
Dark Path. Whoop.
queen on the dark path.
Oh my god, yeah. I was so busy focused on the dialogue. Adam and Alan are interacting. Say it ain't so. It was written in the stars. The Oracle told me they'd talk again. I didn't believe her. God damn, they're actually just... Oh, they're talking! They've been in scenes together this season. They just haven't spoken. I'm pretty sure the last time they outright spoke... Was it Goat Stew? No, it was after Goat Stew. It was when Alan was shaving his head. We kind of saw the dynamic of the slightly repressed, uptight, insular Alan versus the more kind of carefree, it is what it is, charismatic Adam. And we just haven't seen them interact since, which sucks. And this probably won't be a low, this isn't going to be some kind of low-key, hey, what up, bro? Catch-up chat. This is going to be like serious plot, House of the Dragon seriousness. But at least they're interacting, so that's fun. Cool. And here we have... Why? It's the Riverland army at Tumbleton. The Riverlanders have finally reached Tumby. Oh, there's a lot to say about Tumbleton. I'll give my... I'll let the trailer play... Yeah. There's a lot I want to say about Tumbleton. Let's just go through the trailer first. So, on the left, we have... That's Oscar Tully with his glorious river blue cloak. Isn't that lovely? And sort of mud red jerkin. Give me a sec. On the right of Daemon, we have obviously Roddy the Ruin, and they're look at all the river. All season they've been marching, which is kind of cool. They've been marching from Harrenhal over the course of the entire season. They've made it to Tumbleton. There's been some jetpack complaints, especially with Alicent, but like this army has traveled at like a reasonable pace, I think. Blackwood sigil, Tully sigil, all kind of fun medieval stuff. A retinue of retinue. I just got jump scared again by the woman in my head shouting low battery. Stop. There. Oh, it's such... Anyway. And then Daemon. Daemon is here because they want to give Matt Smith stuff to do. And he's not on Craxes, but I think I can forgive the show because they're not doing dragon stuff. Because the whole point is they're not burning the town down to wipe out the Green Host, because they'd be wiping out thousands of civilians, and not just that, but they'll be wiping out the lord and lady of a town that bent the knee to Rhaenyra, and she's in a politically precarious situation. I understand why she doesn't want to burn it down. So Daemon's like, well, I don't need a dragon, so let me just lead the charge on horseback because I'm a wild card and I love to fight and I want to get bloody. I can accept that. Okay, I can accept that. That being said, there do need to be dragons nearby. There need to be dragon riders who are just like, keeping an eye on Tumbleton in case Tessarion comes up to try and fuck with the army. There should be someone on Dragonback.
You have an absolute...
And there's Caraxes. We get a couple of shots of Caraxes just without a rider. So I think Caraxes is just kind of, I'm nearby, if Daemon needs help, I'll swoop him up. We'll see. They're all cheering. Just having Caraxes on your side obviously must be glorious. Just like, fuck yeah. That's our dragon. Daemon says, you have an absolute power.
You have an absolute power within your grasp.
Within your grasp. This is presumably him talking to Rhaenyra. Look at the noodle. I guess that's it. This is probably pre-battle. He's giving one last plea to Rhaenyra, saying, you literally have dragons. We shouldn't be wasting our time with an assault on the city. Just burn the fucking dragons down. Then you take... burn Tumbleton down. You take out Ormond. You take out Daeron. You take out Tessarion and the Hightower army in one fell swoop. Then you go, oh, well, civilian casualties. What are you going to do? And move on. But we've had this conversation between them a lot, and yeah, yet another scene of Daemon saying, hey, Rhaenyra, burn Tumbleton. It's like, yeah. We've fallen into the season 2 problem of all the council scenes. The same stuff is being reiterated over and over. Difference is what is being discussed is actually interesting, unlike season 2, but it's still the same stuff over and over. It's not that dynamic. Hasn't quite reached just the kind of vibrant, charismatic dynamism of early Game of Thrones council scenes, but there we go. What's that sigil? I don't recognize it. Brackets black and white. Let's look for it. What are we looking for? Where? Where do you see a black and white sigil? Which one? We see the Bracken up there, the red stallion on gold, with a brown banner, a brown outline, a brown border. Mallister on the left, which in the books the Mallister's a silver eagle on purple. In the show it's silver eagle on dark blue. Fine.
Within your grasp.
Tully.
Grasp.
Let's go.
Your grasp. You have only to wield it.
Yeah, so they're having... This is definitely the final pre-battle moment between them. Also, she's looking upset here. I see tears in her eyes. She similarly had quite wet eyes when she confronted Baelor. So I think she is told Aegon's alive and he has Sunfire, who's come back from the dead. And this is her being like, oh no, have the gods abandoned me? And that's why she's like acting tempestuously with Baelor, and why Daemon's trying to exploit this moment. Like, use your fucking dragons. We shall see.
Wield it.
And then, of course, the Winter Wolves, the auxiliary force of the Riverlords. Again, it's just dark banners. I wish, like how the Riverland army had various different houses represented. I wish we had Dustins and Glovers and Boltons and Umbers and so on. But there we go. Oh yeah, I didn't see the black and white sigil people were talking about, but it would be Vance of Wayfarer's Rest, which is the Vance house that sided with Rhaenyra. The Vances of Atranta sided with the Greens. I agree with Longshanks, who's saying that we won't see Rhaenyra get the news. The episode will open and the news will be... Yeah, I could see a scenario where the episode opens and Rhaenyra is walking through the keep and everyone's kind of giving her an awkward side eye, like, oh, and it's just like a known thing now that Aegon's alive, and she's trying to keep her cool. bang in the shield. Whoa, whoa. Yeah, the very obvious visual contrast between the knights of the Riverlands versus the sort of classic fantasy barbarians, right? The northern barbarians. That's cool. Here we have Roddy. I hope Roddy is name dropped at some point this season. Can someone just call him Roddy? Roddy the Ruin, Roderick Dustin. Everyone thinks he's a Stark. God damn it. I'm sure he's going to give a badass speech. He'll be cool in battle. I do think his character's been underutilized grossly, unfortunately. But he's left a decent impact and the acting's been good. But, give him a big old speech. Here we have Ormond. Now, there was a similar shot to this in the was it the Weeks Ahead trailer or was it the full season trailer? There was a similar shot where it was Ormond looking, but his dumb fucking helmet was slightly askew and it looked goofier. I'm glad they've used a different take, but yeah, his armor's beautiful and don't get me wrong, I love the enameling on the helmet. Is that even the right term? I don't know. But it's fucking stupid. It's yet another dumb Game of Thrones House of the Dragon. Let's give a main character a helmet that doesn't cover the face because we need to see the actor's face. And it's not covering the neck. The gorget isn't covering the neck. The helmet isn't covering the back of the neck. There's no visor to speak of. It's why even have a helmet at this point? It's just goofy, unfortunately. And especially because A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which did not have perfect helmets, or a couple of goofy helmets there, but there was a lot of chunky armor, chunky helmets covering the face, and we were still able to know who was who because we'd sometimes cut inside the armor. It is cut inside the helmet to see their eyes and made it quite intimate. The armor was distinct enough and had personality in and of itself, and they found decent excuses to have the helmets come off. Dunk takes his helmet off, which is such a tropey thing in medieval media, where it's, oh, I need to take the helmet off so the viewer can see the actor because I got banged a bit. But in Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, it's his eye gets slashed, or a bit next to his eye gets slashed through the visor and blood swells up and he can't fucking see. And he's like, I would rather have this, horrifying claustrophobic metal bucket off of my head just for a chance of maybe seeing a bit more than just kind of blindly fighting until I'm cut down. So that worked for me. But anyway, helmet watch over. The helmet looks silly, but oh well. And John Roxton in the back, he's got again, there's no visor, which is annoying, especially for a noble knight, but his helmet does look kind of badass. And you see the people behind John Roxton. He's got the Roxton crew, which is similar to how the Winter Wolves aren't particularly diverse in their banners. The Hightower army do just seem to be exclusively Hightowers only. We don't see any peaks. We don't see any Fossaways, any other houses who sided with the Greens. However, we do have the Roxtons. John Roxton does have his own crew who have their own unique blue armor, or at least blue surcoats, and they do have their Roxton helmets. The Roxtons seem to have very specific, I can't remember the term, it is an actual medieval helmet, but yeah, that's cool at least. But yes, Ormond Hightower. Why are you in armor? Why are you fighting? He doesn't strike me as the kind of person who actually leads the charge. He strikes me as the kind of guy who plans and strategizes from behind a map in a pavilion or from a tower or something. You don't, or he waits at the back of the army giving orders. You don't imagine him leading the charge, but here he is in the midst of battle. It does beg the question, what is his plan? What is he cooking? What is the vague poster cooking right now? Because obviously we know his plan has been twofold. Well, no, the 3 steps to his plan have been capture the city, hold it hostage, protect our host temporarily from dragons. That's step 1. Step 2, try and destabilize King's Landing through various maneuvers. Okay, cool. But that's a long-term thing that isn't going to help Tumbleton from being taken. Step 3, seduce Ulf to his side. Turn the woman shouted low battery in my head again. God damn it. Bring the what was I saying? Yes. Bring Ulf to my side. Turn the dynamic from 1 versus 5 dragons to 2 versus 4 at minimum. So why is he in armor and ready to fight? Why is there even a fight scene? That's the big question here. Why is there even a fight scene? So let's go back a bit. Let's dive into the book. So Fire and Blood, the Battle of Tumbleton is thus: the Blacks hold Tumbleton. Lord and Lady Footley, their Team Black, they get support from the Winter Wolves and some River Lords who are marching from Butcher's Ball. Right, so that's so you have Sir Garibald Grey, Pate of Longleaf. I believe Red Rob Rivers comes along, etc., etc. So it's not the entire Riverman host; it's a chunk of it come to with the Winter Wolves come to support Tumbleton because the Hightower host is moving from Long Table to Bitterbridge to Tumbleton, and the Battle of Tumbleton is Ormond's army attacking the market town and actually infiltrating it, having the gates open, pouring in, fighting it, slaughtering their opponents with the support of Hugh and Ulf, who, of course, turn cloak. We don't fully know the details of this in Fire and Blood, but they turn cloak in exchange for lordship and wealth and so on. And then that's the first Tumbleton. And then later on in Fire and Blood, there's a second Tumbleton. Oh, wait, no. I'll quickly say, in the first Tumbleton, again, this is spoilers, book spoilers being discussed here. You shouldn't be here if you don't want book spoilers. It's in the title. Just a warning. In the first Tumbleton, Ormond dies, and he's a competent commander. He's slain, and as a result, a power vacuum opens up, and the army goes, "Oh, we don't have our strong, charismatic leader, and we're full of bloodlust. We've taken a city," and they just raid, ransack, rape their way through Tumbleton, and it's a complete mess. And then the second Tumbleton is later on down the line, where the rest of the Riverland army, led by, the likes of Lord Bloody Ben and Lord Elmo Tully and his sons Kermit and Oscar and and Alysanne Blackwood, Sabitha Frey, etc. As you know, Sabitha Frey's not there. She's at Harrenhal at that point. I can't remember. But the Riverlord army come, and they're backed by Adam and Seasmoke. And then you have this big you have the chaos of, Daeron is killed, maybe bashed in the head by a sellsword called Black Trombo, or maybe a burning pavilion falls on his fucking face. Ulf is sleeping the whole time, gets assassinated later. Hugh is cut down by John Roxton. Then you have Riderless Tessarion and Riderless Vermithor just go fucking crazy and start burning everything. And Adam goes, "I need to stop that." And he rides in, and you have a 3-way dragon fight, and it's just complete chaos, and they all kill each other. It's madness. So the first Tumbleton is like slaughter, rape, ransacking. The second Tumbleton is like parts of the city are destroyed in Dragonfire, right? And Tumbleton is just eternally fucked after that. There are some fears among the fandom that this episode is going to be merging Tumbleton 1 and 2. That they're basically going to say, okay, the Tumbleton plot was season 3 specific, and we're going to move on to focus on Rhaenyra and King's Landing, riots, storming of the Dragon Pit, Battle of the God's Eye, Aegon and Dragonstone, etc., and ignore the Reach plot, right? Introduce it and conclude it this season. I hope not, and I'll be very frustrated if that's the case, because, oh boy, merging both Tumbletons and wrapping up this plot means that you kill Ormond, Roddy, Hugh, Ulf, Adam, Daeron the Daring, and basically Gwaine, presumably, but even though he's not alive at this point in the books. But essentially, that would be terrible. You would basically be killing off like a huge chunk of characters and then going, okay, bye, and moving on. And it doesn't work for several reasons. Not only because it deprives us, because you can't fit all of that in one episode, and it deprives us of interesting things that could happen in season 2, like the Caltrop storyline, the conspiracy by various lords to try and take out Ulf and Hugh, who essentially seize control of the Hightower army, right, through force and through the threat of their dragons. It means that you cut off any potential interesting arc with the Daeron, especially if Ormond, if you kill off Ormond, you can have Daeron leaving his shadow, growing into a new person. You get rid of that. You get rid of a cool character like Gwaine. You get rid of cool moments like Yeah, it's just you can't cram Tumbleton 1 and 2 into one episode. And the only reason way you can make it work, the only way you can portray it, I think, would be you have Ulf and Hugh turn, and then you have Adam rock up, and you have Tessarion take to wing, and you just have like what, a four-way dragon battle that ends up just destroying the whole city, and like everyone dies, and it's like whoops, and then we move on to season 4. No, I don't think that's happening. I have no idea. I don't want it to happen. But yeah, I'm going all over the place with this prediction stream. There's a lot I haven't even discussed with regards to Tumbleton. But so yeah, like I said, in Fire and Blood, the Blacks hold the city, the Greens successfully take it with the help of the two dragons who join their side. But Ormond dies, power vacuum, the Greens go crazy, they rape, they ransack, etc., etc. And then Hugh and Ulf take advantage of the power vacuum and go, we're in charge. And then the Caltrops is formed, which is the likes of Hobart Hightower, who's a cousin, and then like Lord Owen Fossaway, the conniving Lord Unwin Peake, Daeron Targaryen himself, bold John Roxton, etc., etc. Team up, have secret meetings in a tavern called the Caltrops. The Caltrops being the sigil of House Footley, who rule Tumbleton. And then yeah, they plan to try and take out the Dragon Riders, assassinate them, etc. And then you have Tumbleton 2, as I described, blah blah blah. So let's assume that this episode will be Tumbleton 1 directly adapted. No way, because it's already not going to be directly adapted from the start, because the Greens are holding it and the Blacks are taking it, right? So the dynamic's completely different, because again, Tumbleton 2, assume it's not happening, right? How are they adapting the first one in this scenario? Because to me, it's more sort of narratively satisfying for the Greens to attempt to take a strategic, choke point, kind of like the final, or sort of the penultimate conquest before King's Landing itself, right? The final stronghold on the path to King's Landing is Tumbleton. It's more narratively satisfying for the Greens to go, haha, we took it because we stole a couple of your dragons, versus we're holding on to a place and we're still holding on to it because we won the battle. Like it won't. But so I have been thinking a lot at home. I mean, pacing my flat, thinking, how do you make this work? Because there's a load of confusing aspects. Like, what is victory for the Greens? Like, do you just chase away the army? Do you, what dragons are going to be involved? I'll put my full thoughts once the trailer's over, because I do actually think I've worked out, or rather what I would do in this situation with the pieces being set up as they have been throughout the course of the season. I'll bring that up later, but yeah, the Blacks are attacking, the Greens are defending. For some reason, the Greens are getting ready to battle and are fighting, even though they have Ulf on their side. So why isn't Ulf coming in and just destroying the Riverland army before they can attack Tumbleton? What's going on there? And is Ormond going to live and himself be part of the Caltrops, or is he going to die to lead to that power vacuum? I could see it going either way, actually, because on one hand, great so far, really fun, campy villain, fantastic acting by James Norton. I kind of want him to stay and to continue being a villain into season 4. However, I do think he needs to die again, so that Daeron can lead the charge with the Caltrops. Daeron and Gwaine will lead the charge in the Caltrops. I suspect Gwaine will go on to be the one who poisons Ulf and sacrifices himself in the process, which is what Hobart Hightower does in Fire and Blood, who's a cousin of Ormond. People keep mistakenly saying that the Hobart Hightower who poisons Ulf in the book is the father of Ormond, which doesn't make sense, because why would Lord Ormond Hightower have a living father who's not a lord? That doesn't make sense. It's like, no, it's Hobart was the name given to the unnamed Lord Hightower, father of Ormond, right? He's a cousin in Fire and Blood. But jump scared again. Stop fucking saying low battery at full volume. I know it's low battery. Okay. I know it's low battery. I'm trying to do a live stream. Okay. Because you're just screaming in my ear. You're just softer tones, gentler tones, if anything. It's nagging. It's giving nagging. Okay, just say, "Oh, hey, Haven, low battery, please charge." Okay, sure. Don't just screaming in my ear like, "Oh, sorry." Let's move on. Yeah, I have more thoughts about how I think, as I said, I think this battle will go on. But yes, we have Ormond here. I do think he's doomed to open up Daeron, Gwaine, Jon, etc., teaming up for Caltrops to open up the power vacuum. And we saw how he deals with rapists, right? Where he's actively like, castrate that guy, break his arm. You can see a situation where Ormond dies and his troops just go, we are, you know, raping and ransacking Tumbleton because they don't have that charismatic authority figure keeping them together like glue. And of course, what happens in Fire and Blood is that Ormond and Roddy basically die fighting each other. Isn't that kind of a perfect moment? It's too good to pass up on. You have this kind of smug, prissy, supremacist Hightower, enlightened one, up against a northern barbarian. And they're just the perfect clash. You know what I mean? Because in Fire and Blood, Roddy fights another one of Ormond's cousins called Sir Brynden Hightower, gets his arm cut off, kills Brynden, then with one arm, charges after Ormond, fucking kills him before dying of blood loss. You can see a situation where it's like, you can imagine like one-armed Roddy just charging at Ormond and they scrap and they kind of kill each other in some way, or they both fall off the battlements at the same time, or they just bleed out together. I don't know, but I do suspect, I'd say 60-40 Ormond dying. Although I wouldn't be mad if he survives because he's just a fun character. But anyway, so we have Ormond, Jon Roxton, everyone's fighting. Why are they doing this if Ulf is on their side? We'll find out. Daeron, of course, is not involved in the battle. He's not wearing armor. He's probably not allowed. Well, he's probably like, you don't need to bother riding to Sarion. We have Ulf on our side. So Daeron, I know low battery. Stop telling me. Daeron's watching the men marching out. Ooh, you know what I've noticed? You see a bunch of troops wearing green, right? Hightower. Down there, on the right, where I'm going to remove the captions temporarily. Oh, where's my mouse? Is that power off? What do you mean power off? Oh my god. My headphones just turned themselves off. Oh, at least I won't have the shrill voice in my ears. You know what? Let me just quickly charge up my headphones. But before I do that, look on the right. Are those orange surcoats I see over those knights, or is it the lighting? Are those orange surcoats? You know, where we've got some green up here. Maybe we have some blue, right? The blue representing the some blue jerkins under the armor representing the Roxtons. Is there orange here? Are these guys not? Is that the lightings are orange? Are these peaks? Are these peak soldier? I don't know. Anyway, I'll be back in a sec. Right. Well, I'm charging up my headphones. At least it's no longer going low battery, please charge in my ear. So, but now I can't hear the fucking trailer. God, you know what? It's fine. There are captions. It's all good. Right, and then we cut to.
He's kept it even from me.
Oh wait, I turned the captions off. That was smart of me. Oh yes, Daeron says he and Roxton have some secret plot afoot. Oh, so that's interesting. Confirmation that Roxton knows. Roxton, his G. Roxton knows. Roxton is it? Oh, of course, because Roxton's standing behind Ormond when he's talking to Ulf last episode. I love how bold Jon Roxton knows his plan, but like Gwaine, Daeron, they're like, nah, you don't need to know. You don't need to know. Some secret plot afoot. He's kept it even from me. They're on the battlements. Gwaine's like... Gwaine looks so fucking stressed. Because you can see that they're probably looking out at like the army. And Gwaine's like, oh my god. We are going... This massive Riverlands army is going to utterly annihilate us. And Ormond just has a secret plan he's not telling anyone. Hitler in the bunker. This man is deluded. Now, of course, his secret plan is Ulf. As I said, where the fuck is Ulf? What is the plan here? You know what? I'm going to say it now. This is my take. Why are we having a battle? Why are the blacks even allowed to break into the city? Because we see action shots within the city on the battlements. Why is it coming that far? Surely you have the army outside the town, and then you're like, Ulf comes in, brrr, destroys like the entire Riverland army with Dragonfire. Excuse me. Then maybe he's been instructed, if there's any other dragon riders, you kill them, right? And I keep thinking, why is there even a battle? You know what I've realized? This is what I think is going to happen. Ormond has decided to rely and then pin basically hopes of victory on a drunk. I think, similar to how Ulf sleeps through Second Tumbleton, I think Ulf is going to be fucking asleep. I think he is going to be asleep and drunk in King's Landing. Then he's going to wake up. And he's going to go, fucking hell, I'm late. I missed my alarm. And he's going to stagger to Silverwing and fly in. And Ormond's going to be like, fuck. I trusted a drunk. He's not here. And then Ulf comes in last minute. He's like, don't worry, I got you. And then Ulf just... Well, that's the thing. What's he going to do? Because he has to do something. It can't just be he lands on the battlements and goes, Ormond now has a dragon on his side. And then, of course, we know Hugh is going to turn as well. Hugh lands on the battlements. He has 2 dragons on his side. The end. No, there needs to be like a... There needs to be something tangible and vicious. And like, there needs to be something that happens that's like, fuck, Rhaenyra has lost this battle. It can't just be people run away. So... there are 2 options here. One is what I think will happen, which is Ulf destroys the Riverland army. Ulf comes in late, but just strafing. Is it called a strafing run? Is that what it is? Just annihilates the Riverland army. The ones outside the city, at least, not the ones in the city. The ones in the city end up being mopped up by the Greens. Maybe Ormond dies during this against Roddy. Rest in peace. And then you have characters who you want to live like Black Aly and Oscar flee with just like the few surviving, covered in ash, eyebrows singed off, the survivors of the battle just leg it into the woods. And then, of course, the issue there is, hold on a sec. If you destroy the Riverland army, how would you have that army fight in a Battle of the King's Road? Well, that's the thing. At the end of the Dance of the Dragons, you have the Riverland army and the Northern army led by Cregan Stark descending on King's Landing. You only need 1 army. So for this episode, have a big, powerful blow to Rhaenyra. You wipe out the Riverland army with Ulf and Hugh. Then you have the survivors, Oscar, Black Aly, etc. Those stragglers team up with Cregan Stark leading his army on the way south, and then Cregan Stark's army goes up against Boris Baratheon and the Baratheons during the Battle of the King's Road. If that's even adapted, then they take King's Landing. So I think that works for me. I think wiping out the Riverland army is the big, powerful blow to Rhaenyra that you need. Because the alternative is, again, to have this betrayal hit home and be a climactic finale moment, the alternative is they kill another dragon rider / dragon. That's the only... Either you wipe out the whole army, or you have to kill a dragon rider. Then it needs to be more climactic than just, we have officially switched sides. What are you going to do? People need to die, right? You can't kill Rhaenyra. You can't kill Daemon. There's a part of me that keeps seeing riderless Caraxes, and I assume he's going to come in, swoop in and like pick up Daemon or some shit, help Daemon escape, because like, I suspect once Daemon and people are in the city fighting, that's when the betrayal happens, burning outside. Daemon's like, fuck no. Is he just going to like Naruto run away? I think Caraxes will come and rescue him, right? Or Caraxes dies. Riderless Caraxes dies. Ulf and Hugh team up. They wring the noodle neck, tear him to shreds. They Lady in the Tramp Caraxes. Like he's a red noodle, like he's a red string of spaghetti. Vermithorn Silverwing, they just... Tonight is a night, it's a beautiful night. And Caraxes is fucking dead, right? But then you go, hold on, Haven, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Because we need Caraxes for the God's Eye. What if Sheep Stealers at the God's Eye? What if they turn the God's Eye into Aemond on Vhagar versus Rhaena on Sheepstealer, and they fight above the God's Eye. And Daemon is like behind his daughter, stands up. He's like, I don't want you to sacrifice yourself. I got this. Daemon leaps from the back of Sheepstealer onto Vhagar. Dark Sister through Aemon's Eye. That's the Battle of the God's Eye. That's one way it could go. Hopefully not. I don't think it would. No, listen. It won't happen. It won't happen. Craxes is safe. Daemon is safe. Don't panic. Do not panic. It would be so bad it's funny. I can't lie. No, I will stop cooking. I'm sorry. The oven's off now. I'm burning it. But if they are going to kill a dragon, they can't do Rhaenyra. They can't do Daemon. They could do Baela. Baela's not that important. You know, she does scrap with Aegon on Dragonstone, which kills Sunfire and cripples Aegon. But like, is that super necessary? Could you not just have Sunfire die of the wounds he already has just later on, or Aegon's already kind of crippled anyway? You know, it could be Grey Ghost, the Wild Dragon Grey Ghost, who does it. Plus, also Baela does go on to marry Alan, and they've gone out of their way to set up a cringe romance that lacks any sort of chemistry. So yeah, no, Baela's alive. With the whole Alan Baela thing, she's going to live. They wouldn't set that up otherwise. So Baela's alive. And you know who that leaves, right? That leaves fucking Hugh. Rhaenyra's not going on Sheepstealer this episode. We're continuing the Sheepstealer plot next season without question. Adam and Seasmoke are the remaining options. So either Hugh and Ulf annihilate the Riverland army with fire, and that's the big Rhaenyra, you've now lost your largest host. And that, I'm fine with that. And then they just get replaced with Cregan's army in season 4. I'm okay with that. Or to make it hit home, Adam's there, the 2 dragon seeds turn on the 3rd, kill him, kill Adam. In a vacuum, would that work? Yes, it would work in a vacuum, like narratively. Would it be lame because we barely know who Adam is? Yeah, I wouldn't exactly cry over Adam. I'd be like, oh no, that guy who's barely had any dialogue, barely has any character, hasn't done anything all season. You know, wouldn't be an emotional punch. But also, it would just take away from his later death, because in Fire and Blood, he dies at Second Tumbleton. He basically sacrifices himself to take down 2 wild, riderless psycho dragons, Vermithor and Targaryen, destroying everything. In a death scene I don't like, by the way, but I guess that's a chat for another time, or maybe later on in the stream. But the whole point is that Rhaenyra goes paranoid after the betrayal and tries to have Adam arrested. Corlys helps him escape. Adam, despite his queen trying to arrest him, proves his loyalty by sacrificing himself at Tumbleton. Despite everything, he proves to be loyal to his queen. And so as a result, Alan creates a tombstone at his grave and, you know, puts the word loyal on it. Classic scene. You could still have that work here, where it's like, hey, your 2 dragon seeds betrayed you, but the 1 dragon seed, against all odds, against 2 larger dragons, stood his ground. He's loyal. You can still have the loyal thing go on. It's not quite as impactful as Rhaenyra actively wanting him arrested and him still being loyal. Although, and even then, if we don't have that in season 4, the butterfly effects, am I right? Toxic butterfly. No, there's some issues there because Corlys helps Adam escape, and that leads to Corlys being arrested, which leads into Corlys basically becoming one of Aegon's advisors / assassins in the future. Then you also have, why would you set up the Isle of Faces? Why would you set up the Green Men if not to have the mysterious Fire and Blood scene of Adam talking to the Green Men before riding to his doom, which is never expanded upon? Like, I don't think Adam's going to die. I think Tumbleton will go as follows. The Blacks arrive. The Greens are ready for battle. What's Ormond's plan? We don't know. Cut to Ormond. Ormond's like, oh god, Ulf was meant to be here already, destroying the army and potentially killing Daemon or Rhaenyra or whoever arrived. Oh god, I'm so fucked. The battle happens. There's a big fight. Ulf comes in late because he's fucking drunk, but then he saves the day for the Greens, wipes out the army. Oscar and others who need to live go, and run away. Daemon gets picked up by Craxes, Noodleneck carries him away. Ormond versus Roddy. Ormond's like, yes, I succeeded. And then there's the dramatic irony of slowly turns around. That's Roddy the Ruins music. Roddy comes in with one arm in the iron chair. Fucking beats him up. iron chair. I was going with like a steel chair, but it's the Iron Throne. Anyway, and then they kill each other. Chaos. City gets raped and sacked and everything. Complete madness. Total loss for the Greens. Adam's not involved. Baylor's not involved. Caraxes and Daemon escape. Rhaenyra, there was a still that released that got taken down of Rhaenyra and Armor, and it clearly wasn't meant to go out. It was clearly meant to be a post-episode still, because it's been scrubbed from the internet. But it was Rhaenyra, and I'm not going to show it on screen just in case it has this stream taken down, but it's Rhaenyra wearing a sort of Joan of Arc style chainmail hood, wearing armor with some nice shoulder pads, and the crown on top. So Rhaenyra is going to battle, unless she gets locked in her bedroom again, which would be a bit silly. I think she's going to be here. And I think she'll basically be on Syrax on a hill, just watching and being like, if Dasarion tries to escape, I'm killing that motherfucker. I'm killing that boy. That twink is dead. I'm fucking killing Daeron if he tries to escape. I think Rhaenyra is just going to be watching from afar, right? You know what I think? What if Rhaenyra is watching from afar with Hugh? Ulf comes, destroys the Riverlord army. Rhaenyra snaps. Oh god, I've been betrayed. Aegon's back. Ulf has turned against me. The gods hate me. Fuck, I'm fed up of this. And she just snaps and goes, all right, screw it. We've lost our army. We're burning Tumbleton. We're burning Ormond and the Green Host. We are just destroy Tumbleton. Right? And she's like, Hugh, you go kill Ulf. Me, Syrax, Caraxes, we're just going to burn Tumbleton. And then Hugh's like, my wife's there. He's like, nah, fam, I don't care. And then Hugh just like, fuck that, gets on Vermithor, and basically chases Rhaenyra away, being like, nope, don't you fucking dare kill Tumbleton. And just starts attacking Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra flees like, Caraxes, Daemon flees, everyone flees. Ulf's like, hey, why don't you join my side? Maybe there's a scene earlier on where Ulf tells Hugh about the Ormond offer, and he's like, come join us. So Hugh's already in like, shit, a lordship, wealth, okay. And then after Rhaenyra's like, burn the city, burn his wife, he's like, no, I'm turning against you. I'm going to help the Greens. Something like that. I don't know. But I don't know. I have been rambling. I can't lie. Shall we continue? Are you still prepared to die for our queen? Oh, cool. Okay. Right. Oh, I guess the only thing I haven't gone into... Okay, we'll get into it later. But yes, we have Daemon and Armor, and here we have a scene I have been waiting for. And I don't just mean in House of the Dragon, I mean Game of Thrones. You know how often I want cool characters with distinct personalities and cool armor, wearing the colors of their houses, representing their families, gathered around a table in a tent, looking at a map, and fucking discussing tactics and strategy and bantering back and forth. I've wanted that so much. I've wanted that so fucking much. Oh, someone's pointing out that Rhaenyra and Armor could be that she's not going to Tumbleton, she's just hosting a desperate coronation because Aegon's returned. And she's like, I'm being fucking officially coronated, fuck you. I don't know how she's going to do that without the High Septon. Maybe she'll just get another Septon to do it or whatever. But you know how much... All watching Game of Thrones, I was like, the early seasons are good, but can we just have a scene of all the River Lords and Robb Stark around a map discussing strategy, and we can be like, there's Bolton, there's Karstark, some Northern Lords. Oh, we've got some River Lords too. There's Bracken, there's Blackwood. You know what I mean? And here it looks like we've actually got Daemon and the River Lords around a table. Let's give them names. Let's show their faces. Who are they? But yes, we have Daemon like, are you prepared to die for your queen? There's a guy behind Daemon who, in the previous episode, Daemon was Roddy and Oscar were riding ahead of the host, right, with Kristen Cole's head on a spike. And on one side of them was that man who's behind Daemon, out of focus. And we don't know who he is, and he has no markings, but people are suspecting it's Garibald Grey. Because the characters who we know go to Tumbleton in the books are Roddy the Ruin, Garibald Grey, Pate of Longleaf. Pate of Longleaf doesn't exist. He's the one who kills Jason in the book. He doesn't do it here. He doesn't exist. So Garibald the Grey, that's a fun little cameo. Sure. Oscar, obviously, he could die, but I don't think he's going to die. I think he's going to escape and team up with Cregan later. Roddy, can't fucking wait.
Can't fucking wait.
There we go. Let's have a Roddy scene. Name drop him. Say who he is, at least. give him. I mean, he's been cool this season, but just severely underwritten. But yeah, this is setting up his obvious, suicide charge, and he's probably going to die fighting Ormond. Interestingly, to the left of Roddy, there's a guy with what appears to be not the Laygood, the Goodbrook. That's it, the Goodbrook sigil, another Reach Banner house. So this is Lord Goodbrook. It is very funny that of all the River Lords, the one I care the least about is fucking House Goodbrook. House Goodbrook. Okay, we saw. Where's Lord Frey from season 2? Right? Where the fuck is Lord Frey? Where's Lord Mooten? Now, we saw Wallace Mooten die last episode. Nice Mooten representation. I like it. But where's Wallace from season 2? Where's Lady Mallister? Where's Lord Darry? To be fair, we did see Lord Piper get killed by Kristen Cole, assassinated a few episodes ago. That was cool. And we have Alysanne Blackwood, but where's Lord Bracken? Right? If I'm being honest, do I need to see Lady Mallister and Lord Darry, etc.? No, not really. And we did see a Mooten last episode. But you know what we do need to see? And we could say that maybe the Freys haven't joined this march because we're going to have the Freys march on Harrenhal next season, right? Lord and Lady Frey going to try and take Harrenhal from Aemon. Okay, fine. But you know what we really need to see? We need to see Lord Bracken. We have because season 3, in terms of the Riverland houses that matter in that season, it's Tully, Bracken, Blackwood. Alysanne is representing the Blackwoods. Oscar's in charge of the Tullys. That's cool. We really do need Lord Bracken from season 2. Like, I'd much rather have him here than fucking House Goodbrook. But anyway. Hey, it's something. It's fun. He's dead. He's fucked. He is fucked. Lord Goodbrook is so fucked. Garibald the Grey is fucked. Roddy's fucked. How does Garibald die in Tumbleton 1? Because I do think they're given, like, official proper deaths. Let me look it up. I know Pate of Longleaf is, like, just he falls off his horse and gets trampled. It's Garibald Grey. I keep saying Garibald the Grey, don't I? It's Garibald of House Grey. He was struck by a crossbow bolt and then burned by Tessarian's dragon flame. That's very funny. Okay. And wait. Does Lord Goodbrook get up to anything specifically in the dance? Oh, you know what's funny? This is what the wiki's telling me. Lord Goodbrook was one of the lords from the Riverlands that stayed loyal to Aerys during Robert's Rebellion. Damn. Anyway, nothing about House Goodbrook in the Dance of the Dragons. I know this is a nitpick and no one gives a shit except me, and I should just be moving on with the trailer, but there's something a bit annoying about having a house as inconsequential as Goodbrook here. Where's Lord Bracken? Where's Mallister? Where's these big Bannerman houses that we know and care about and have cool lore and sigils and... But Goodbrook? Goodbrook. Okay.
Can't fucking wait.
But yes. Here we've got a nice shot of Oscar riding through his men. We've seen this in quite a few Next Time trailers. Piper sigil in the top right. The Pipers of Pink Maiden, the pink dancing maiden on blue. Blackwood sigil, Tully sigil, Bracken sigil. Let's go. Helena saying, "Our father would hate you for this." I don't know what that means. For what?
I would hate
Helena is looking fucking worse for wear. My goodness. Yeah, she's yeah. Why is Helena saying this? Is Helena saying... Is this because... So, the idea of Rhaenyra performing a coronation because Aegon's come back, like, is that what she's referencing? Our father would hate you coronating yourself. Not really. Would he? No. Is it Rhaenyra being like... Is it Rhaenyra discussing Helena as an oracle? Basically, like, you are going to tell me your dragon dreams or I'm going to kill you or I'm going to hurt you. And she's like, our father would hate you threatening me. Or is it in relation to the baby? Is it like, Helena, sister, you're going to need some moon tea for the baby. I'm sorry. Like, why is she still pregnant? Oh, no. Sorry, my bad. No, we've discussed that Rhaenyra... Yeah, they sort of stated Rhaenyra would actually prefer Helena to give birth than just... Because then it's a potential hostage. Although I don't think that makes much sense. I think Rhaenyra's safer if she just forces an abortion compared to has a baby, because it wouldn't be a hostage, would it? You know? Oh, I have Aegon's heir. I have Aegon's male heir. If anyone even believes her, because that is kind of unlikely. She was pregnant and no one knew. They might not believe her. But even if they do believe her, Ormond will be like, okay, I don't care. I want Daeron on the throne. That guy's a threat to Daeron. And Aegon, well, it gives Aegon it could give Aegon pause, admittedly. If Aegon's returned with Sunfire, they could be like, oh, it's a hostage against Aegon. I don't know, but... Or is this her saying, my plan is to burn Tumbleton after all? And Helaena... But that doesn't make sense, because I feel like if Rhaenyra decides to burn Tumbleton, that she would make that decision before the battle, because then the battle wouldn't take place. So why is Helaena saying this? By the way, she is looking worse for wear. Oh, let's discuss Helaena. I think... Spoilers. It's a spoiler stream, everyone. I think this is the episode Helaena dies. I think they've been setting up her death this season. She's had a fantastic arc. It's been surprisingly tasteful. In some ways, I think it's actually better than Fire and Blood, but that's a discussion for another time to piss people off. I do think it makes sense if she dies this episode. I would be surprised if it's next season. It would feel like Jace's death being pushed to season 3, right? Like, I think the episode, near the end of the episode, I don't think it'll be before the battle. I think after the battle, Helaena jumps out of a window, right? She's like, I'm depressed. I'm traumatized by the murder of my son. I'm trapped here. I'm overstimulated. I can't leave my room. I'm a hostage. Rhaenyra's going to use me, maybe under threat of harm, to be an oracle to harm my family and give her information. I don't want to be in this position. My child's going to be taken from me. I can't even see my daughter. And all my visions show that if I try to escape and all my visions show me that if I stay here, I lose my child. If I try to go on my dragon, then the dragon will change who I am and make me brutal, and I don't want that. If I escape and raise chickens, the long night's coming anywhere. So I do think Helena's just like fully black-pilled now, Kristen-style black-pilled, and she's just gonna jump out the window, but I think it'll be done tastefully. And I think she might have a vision while it's happening. Not like she's daydreaming, like, oh, I'm not aware that I'm dreaming, then she falls. I think it's more, she'll be at the window and she'll just look into the sky and she'll have a kind of a vision in the moment of finding some kind of freedom that she can find in life, and then she leave. Maybe we see her fall, or maybe I can see a shot where she's standing on the window and like the curtain blows past and blocks her, and when the curtain comes back, she's gone, as opposed to like Tommen just like yeet. Now, it's being pointed out in the chat that the issue with her having Helena's death here is that her death sparks the riots and the rebellion and the storming of the Dragon Pit. I think that's okay. I think you can have it so that her death is at the end of the episode. Not necessarily the final shot, but near the end of the episode. Could be the final bit. And then season 4 begins with the riots break out. Now, it doesn't have to be her death directly leads to Dragon Pit immediately. I think it's more her death combined with the rising crime, the death of the Gold Cloaks, the lack of money, etc. That leads to the small folk starting the riots. And then I think season 4, the first few episodes will be the riots getting worse, the shepherd mobilizing people. Then you'll have the storming of the Dragon Pit halfway through the season or something like that. So it won't directly lead to the storming. It will just be what kickstarts the riots that then lead to. I think that's fine. That's fine. We're not having Rhaenyra escape King's Landing this episode. That's nuts. It'll be halfway through next season. Oh, her death happens during Rhaenyra's coronation, which ruins it and sparks the riots. That's actually a great idea. That's actually a really cool idea. Yeah, it's lots to criticize about the show, but I do get confused. Some people just sort of lack imagination sometimes when they're like, how could this possibly happen? In Fire and Blood, Helaena dies and then the Dragon Pit is stormed. So therefore, and it's like, she could just die and then the Dragon Pit happens later, and in between then there's other kinds of rioting. Like, I don't know why is that confused. Anyway, this is the funniest bit of the trailer where you have Helaena says this and then it's like a soft like transition to Rhaenyra. It's like a cheesy like Star Wars transition. Well, it's not because it's not a screen wipe, but It just like really doesn't fit. But anyway, Rhaenyra is crying. Son, I'm crying. Is this the same shot from earlier where Daemon is... Yes, she's wearing the same outfit. So this could be her being told about Aegon or post Aegon, or this could be post Tumbleton, actually. This could be she's like, oh god, Ulf has betrayed us, Hugh has betrayed us, we've lost our army, I'm fucked. So it could be that as well. Right. We have another shot of the Winterwolves going, rah, rah, banging their shields. It is funny that Roddy just has like a blank shield. Like, why does he just have like a blank wooden shield? Like, he doesn't even, like, I appreciate that he doesn't have a Stark shield because he's not a Stark. Like, you could say that the people with Stark shields in the back, like, maybe they're directly in service to House Stark, or maybe they're Stark cousins or something, but, like, give Roddy a Dustin shield at least, anyway. Two paths diverge before you. You know what? I'm going to... Let's see if my headphones are charged up. And thank you for the super chat, everyone. I will be reading them out once the trailer's done before we look at the pictures. Power is on. Dongle connected. Low battery, or are we good? I think we're good. Right. This has been a very, very rambly live stream. I do apologize. But that's what you're here for. Two paths diverge before you. Who's saying that?
Two paths.
It's Corlys. So, oh, God. So we have Alicent. I'm guessing, again, I don't... What the fuck is her plan? It says two paths diverge before you as she looks side to side, which is kind of making me think that, like, is there a fork in the road? And Alicent's like, there's a Valyrian steel fork in the road. Do I go left or right, east or west, you know? Maybe this is her traveling, being like, I'm going to go back to King's Landing and tell Rhaenyra, I poisoned Aemond, please release me and Helaena. Or is this going, or, you know what I think this is? I genuinely think she's going to Tumbleton next season. I don't think she's going to King's Landing to be a hostage again. I think she's basically going to go, well, if Rhaenyra hears of Aemond's death, then Helena's probably free. But anyway, I want to see Daeron. So she's going to go to Tumbleton to interact with Daeron. So I think this is her choosing to go to Tumby, genuinely.
Verge before you.
Ah.
Verge before you.
Okay, so this is smart. I distinctly remember a season trailer where the two paths diverge before you was Corlys talking to Daemon in Tumbleton. You know? And I remember being like, why are they just having a chat in Tumbleton? But it looks like the dialogue was taken from another scene. He's in his cell. That is a very lazy attempt to have a character missing a finger, by the way. They've just given him a whole hand bandage for his one missing finger. Like, why is his whole... Anyway. Two paths diverge before you. Who's he talking to? This could be Ormond, it could be Daeron, it could be Gwaine, it could be maybe the Blacks win Tumbleton, and this is Daemon being like, haha, you're rescued. Or maybe they rescue him during the battle. No, because this isn't very rushed. It's just kind of a... I don't... It doesn't seem like the right tone for Ormond.
Diverge before you.
Like, I can't see him being like, Ormond, two paths diverge before you. I do think he's talking to Daeron. Maybe being like... Oh, yeah, wait, no, let's listen to the rest. Whether you live or die! Oh, live or die today is Daemon talking, not Corlys. Maybe this is Corlys being like, hey, Daeron, you can either be a psycho like Ormond, or you could be a good guy and just, like, leave the battle, or free me, or something.
Before you.
Daemon on horsey back. I'll let it slide because their goal is explicitly to not burn the city, so he's like, fine, and he wants to be in the battle. Oh, on the right, we see Roddy standing there. We see Black Aly on horseback, Oscar on horseback. Yeah. The Garibald Grey, question mark, and then Lord Goodbrook. So they seem to be the commanders of this Riverland host. It's Oscar, Black Aly, It's a Tully, a Blackwood, a Goodbrook, and a Grey, and none of the other major Riverland houses. That's very strange.
I'll die today!
Whether you live or die today.
Die today!
Oh, look at that. That is a big fucking army. Oh my god, that's a lot of people. And like the Winter Wolves at the front, just like the vanguard who are just going to run for. Like, what's the plan? Is their plan to just run towards the battlements and like have the enemy waste all their arrows, waste all the like the rocks and oil and so on? Do they have ropes to climb the battlements? Do they have battering rams? And you know, none of them have any siege towers, which is fair. They're not taking siege towers on the march. They're not gonna take time building them. They're just trying to take, and they don't need to, because this isn't like a heavily fortified castle. This is just a market town. They're like, we could just barge our way in. So, but I do wonder what the Winter Wolves' plan is once they angrily charge up to the walls. Like, are they just gonna start clambering? Like,
Victory?
ooh, yep. We have the Hightower soldiers are like barricading the door. That is just, look at the door. Look at the gate of Tumbleton. That is just like wood. There is nothing. There's like no metal. That's just wood. That's just that you could kick that in. Yeah, it looks like what's this? They're lifting. What is that? Oh, it's like a giant crossbow. Oh, it's like a scorpion bolt. Yeah. Okay, so they're lifting up things to shoot down the dragons. Okay, that makes sense.
You will be remembered in the histories!
Damon says you'll be remembered in the histories. He's giving a nice Damon rallying cry, a nice Damon speech. That's cool. Mysterious shot that was in the Weeks Ahead trailer. Which is Alan in armor looking kind of morose. Targaryen guards holding the Targaryen flag, and a big box thing behind him. Everyone was saying this was a funeral procession, and they were like, "Oh shit, is this after Helena's death?" But that doesn't make sense to me, because I think Helena's death is probably going to happen near the end, if not the end. Some people were saying, like, because Alan looks sad, does Adam die? Like, is Adam dying in Tumbleton and this is post Tumbleton? I don't think this doesn't make me think post Tumbleton. I feel like, yeah. Some people were even saying it's just another box sent from Tumbleton by Ormond, but this time instead of Corlys's finger, it's Corlys's cock curled up inside there. Maybe. However, since people brought up the coronation thing, and the still that accidentally got released of Rhaenyra with the crown and armor, it could be a palanquin. Palanquin, how's it pronounced in the books? It's a palanquin, basically a litter. I think Rhaenyra's in there in a little carriage, being carried to either the Dragon Pit or the Sept. Probably depends. Maybe there'll be a choice where she has to decide, am I going to be coronated in the Dragon Pit or the Sept? Where the Dragon Pit, there's a nice parallel with Aegon, but the Sept will keep the Faith happy, and she wants the Faith on our side. Maybe this is her saying, fuck the Faith, I'm getting Targaryen-style coronation at Dragon Pit, fuck you. But yeah, no, I think this is her being carried to a coronation. Yeah. After Aegon's return is established.
Remembered in the histories!
Oh, this looks like... Is this a fight? Is this a fight? Yes, it is a fight. I only asked because I was like, are this people with hammers, like, trying to fix something? Yeah, no, this is... I think the Winter Wolves on the back... excuse me. I think it's the Winter Wolves on the battlements. Yeah, you see blood spurting. Oh, you see Roddy. Roddy has made it. Roddy's like, I'm fucking here, bro. Rah! Oh. Oh my god, look at him. He hit that guy's face. Poor guy. There is no way that we're not getting... Like, obviously Roddy's dying. Oh, is he just going to die? Is he going to just die fighting a bunch of people and it's a cool moment? Is he going to die killing Ormond like in the book? Southron supremacist smug boy going up against Northern Barbarian and they kill each other. That would be cool. Or are they going to keep Ormond alive because he's a cool villain and maybe he fights John Roxton instead? And we replace Roxton with Ormond, so Ormond isn't a Caltrops. Maybe it's Ormond who squares up to Hugh in season 4 for Tumbleton 2. And maybe we just have a cool fight scene between the Glupshato, John Roxton with Orphan Maker versus Roddy. I don't know, we'll see. These are the Roxgoons, the Roxton goons, who have their own specific, like, ring mail, and they wear blue, and they have very specific helmets that John Roxton also has, so, like... Oh, you know what's funny? This whole sequence is making me think of, if you join the Stormcloaks in Skyrim and you attack Riverrun... Not Riverrun, sorry. Not Winterfell. Oh, Jesus Christ. Whiterun. Got there in the end. When you attack Whiterun... this is giving me the vibes of, like, Stormcloaks charging into Whiterun. Each street being, like, defended by Imperials. But yeah, no. You know, okay. I think, you know the shot earlier of Ormond and John Roxton looking good and, like, standing in the middle of the street? I think they're standing here, protected by a bunch of guards. And the Winter Wolves have broken through. I think that's Roddy being like, I see Ormond. And I think Roddy's going to charge his way forward and kill Ormond. Or Roxton. They might swap Roxton and Hightower, we'll see, but...
A mountain of dead Hightowers.
Oh, and then, yeah, Roddy... There'd be some dramatic irony in Ulf and Hugh have switched sides, we have won, but then Ormond's killed, like... Ormond's killed by this random fucking Northern Barbarian, which is one thing he just didn't account for.
You will be remembered in...
Yeah, Damon, you'll be remembered in the history.
Or a mountain of...
Or a mountain of dead Hightowers. Hold on. How does that link into what Caller said over this?
Diverge
Two paths diverge before you.
before you.
Whether you live or die today!
Oh, victory or a mountain of dead Hightowers. Interesting. Who is he? So, Corlys is saying to someone, victory or a mountain of dead Hightowers. Basically, either you win or you're getting fucking killed. Is he saying that to Ormond, Daeron? I don't know. And then we have this interesting shot of Hugh just kind of like sassily looking. Where is Hugh? Where is he? He's in his armor. Where is this? Is this in... Because that doesn't look like Tumbleton architecture. That looks like Red Keep. Is this Hugh in the Red Keep? Oh, you know what I think this is? Oh, I know what this is. I bet Hugh is like, can I please go to Tumbleton on Vermithor and make sure that Tumbleton's safe? And then I think Rhaenyra's going to be like, no, you're staying here. You're too invested. And I think when Rhaenyra is carried off to the coronation, this is Hugh going, fuck you. And then he's going to fly to Tumbleton. But then that begs the question, why does he turn? Why does he turn? You know? No, don't attack Tumbleton. But he knows he knows the plan is to attack Tumbleton. Like, he knows that. What makes him turn to save Cat? Like, it can only be that the Blacks give some kind of Hail Mary order of, fuck it, just destroy the whole town. Because Hugh turns, and then... because Ulf turns, and then Hugh's like, don't worry, Ulf, I got you. I gotta protect Cat. I don't know. Or they're just not doing Ulf's betrayal, Hugh's betrayal. But they obviously will. Because I was always thinking going into this season, and as it unfolded, I was like, how are they going to do the betrayal? Are you going to have both of them do a twist betrayal in the finale? In which case, that's a cool twist, but if it's not set up that much, the viewers might be like, what the fuck are we doing? Or are they going to reveal the betrayal before the finale, so it makes sense, but also there's no twist, and the whole battle, you're just waiting for the twist? What they did is they did both. They had the Ulf one is revealed in the penultimate episode, and then Hugh's betrayal is going to be the twist for this episode. But I really do think Ulf is just late because he's fucking drunk, and then he rocks up and destroys the River Lords. Or, you know what else could happen? Or it could be that Hugh, like, Ulf drunkenly tells Hugh about the plan of, oh, if you join us, then we get a castle and wealth. And Hugh's like, maybe that will bring Cat back to me. And then Ulf is drunk as shit, and Hugh's like, oh, I guess I'll do it. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
High towers.
Oh no, the High Towers. Let's look at their defenses. They've got some. Oh yeah. The Winter Walls do have ladders and stuff. Yeah, they've built some. They've built some, like. It looks like they built their own, like, basically, like, runway around the walls, so that they can, like, shoot arrows and throw rocks and shit. We have fire spreading. It looks like they've got, you know, they've dug some kind of trench that they've set on fire to. Okay. They've got some. I don't fucking know. I'm looking forward to all the military experts analyzing this and being like, this battle makes no fucking sense logically. Wait, hold on. That one guy, I don't think you can see my cursor. Can you see my cursor on the stream? I don't think you can. No, you can't. That one fucking... There's a guy down here, like, bottom right. Just, like... Wait, watch him fall. Whoa! Did you see it? Did you see him? That guy just... Whoa! Anyway. One. And then Daemon's horse is like... Where? Yep, bunch of arrows. Winter Wolves aren't scared of anything. One episode left. Oh, and then... This is a fun one. This is Gwaine dragging Daeron. So this is, yeah. Who previously was just on the battlement. So they're like, oh god, we gotta flee. So this must be, Tumbleton's been infiltrated. I'm getting you to a safe place. This could be their death. But if Daeron dies, there's no point in the Tumbleton plot continuing. Like, there's no point. Without Daeron, it's pointless. Unless you have Ulf and Hugh be like, we are now in charge of the Hightower army. We're going to take the throne. The Hightower army would just be like, okay, well, we're going home because you're not Hightowers. You know? Daeron looking up. So, is he looking up at Riderless Caraxes? Who appears to just sort of be, you know, Riderless Caraxes just sort of going around the city intimidatingly. Is it Vermithor? Is it Ulf? Are they watching? Like, what are they seeing here? There's Vermithor. Again, is Vermi meant to be here? Is Vermi meant to be here? Or is he here because he's like, I've got my own plans, and then Daemon's like, why the fuck is he here? Or is Daemon like, oh, I guess Rhaenyra has sent him, that makes sense. Oh, the Rivlord army are so screwed. One episode left. Oh, and then we have Aemond in Harrenhal. The charred ruins of Harrenhal. Shirtless. Is he having more visions? Something about, like, the light in his face is making me think of The Boys, when Stillwell, like, appears as a divine figure in front of Homelander and flashes her boobies. Like, what is he seeing? What is he seeing here? Look at the sapphire in his eye. My goodness. Yeah, what is this? Has to be a vision. What is it? Because I think Aemond, yeah. What mental state is Aemond in now? Because his own mother tried to kill him, so maybe this is what makes him snap. I say that as if he's already kind of insane, but yeah, this is Aemond being like, let's fucking go. Oh, what's that dragon? What's that dragon? What dragon's behind Aemond? That's Caraxes. That's Riderless Caraxes. I think Riderless Caraxes is basically flying above the city, like doing runs, you know, just kind of intimidating the city. Basically, we're not going to burn you, but you're fucking stuck here. If you try to flee, you're being disintegrated. The army's going to come in and slaughter you. Like, it does make you wonder, like, how does Caraxes know to do this without a rider? Like, how does Caraxes know to just, like, fly in the air in a circle? I don't know. But I don't think Caraxes is attacking. I think Caraxes is just, like, intimidating the High Towers, being like, yep, you're screwed, you're stuck. And I think when the betrayers turn, I think Caraxes will, like, I don't know, land and Daemon will scrabble on him and just fucking flee. I don't know. I think that lump above Craxes is that's the seat. That's not a rider. That is Craxes, right? I think. Yeah. 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 That's Craxes. John Roxton. Getting it done. Okay, here's an interesting shot. This is Daemon with a oh fuck look. So he's covered in blood. There's lots of smoke. This has to be the betrayal. This is him witnessing Hugh or Ulf betray them and going, holy shit. Right? But how'd you get out of it? Daemon in the city. So the Winter Wolves and Daemon and some soldiers will make it inside, but like, how does Daemon get out of this? If this is a green victory, like, is he just gonna get captured for next season? That doesn't make sense. Is Craxes literally gonna like pick him up by his claws and fly off? How do you do that without it being goofy, you know? But yeah, some classic Daemon fight scenes. The noodle flying over Tumbleton. Don't you try anything, you're screwed.
Be no doubt who the gods have chosen to rule. Yeah,
no doubt of who the gods have chosen to rule, I think she's seeing it as, oh, the gods Aegon's returned, Sunfire's returned because I haven't been coronated in the light of the Seven. So I'm going to be coronated now. So the gods, you know. Or is it a message to the gods, or is it to the small folk of, no, I am the queen. I need a coronation. Oh, interesting comment in the chat. I comment, therefore I am, said, maybe when Ulf turns, so maybe that's Ulf destroying the army, as I mentioned before, Daemon fucking loses his cool, and Caraxes being so close to Daemon will burn Tumbleton, yeah. The idea that we control the dragons is an illusion, etc. Caraxes feels Daemon's rage and is just like, starts burning shit. And then Hugh's like, oh god, no. Problem is, that's a little bit of a... That's yet another House of the Misunderstanding moment where Hugh just sees Caraxes burning Tumbleton and goes, I'm going to side with the Greens now. Because it's not Daemon giving the order. That's why I think it's more satisfying if Rhaenyra's present, sees Ulf turn from a distance, and then gives the order to burn Tumbleton as like a, oh fuck, let's nip this in the bud. Because it's just yet another, I don't know. But I don't think Rhaenyra will be present. I think she's been coronated. Ta-da! The season finale. My goodness. Plans start at $10.99 a month. That's a bargain. This video is sponsored by HBO. It keeps demonetizing all my fucking most popular videos. I can't make money off of them. There we go. Okay, so we have a bunch of stills to look at. We don't actually have a bunch. Usually they release a lot. We have 4. HBO have released 4. That's barely anything. It's very strange. Usually they release a whole batch on Tuesday or Wednesday. Last week they released a whole batch on Friday. This week it's like, on Saturday we will give you 4. So I'm just going to double check if there are any more have dropped. No. There might be more tomorrow, to be fair, but like, I didn't want to release my Kristen video and do a live stream on the same day because they might clash with each other, but you know. But before we look at the stills, I've been neglecting your beautiful super chats for far too long, so let's go through them. Bum ba bum 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 bum. What have we got? Where are we gone? Oh wait, no, shall we? Yeah, no way. Thank you for the super chat from Mood Dweeb, who says, will Aegon and Viserys finally be addressed? Aegon and Viserys, well, they have been addressed, because obviously Aegon has reunited with Sunfire, and the shadow of Viserys has always been cast over the show and over Rhaenyra and all her actions. Oh, you mean her fucking kids? Oh, yes. Let me think. Maybe her sons with Daemon will be addressed as a... Your sons, Aegon and Viserys, have arrived at Prince Reggio's manse in Pentos. Oh, nice. Can we remind the audience she has sons? I wouldn't be surprised if a whole chunk of the audience don't even understand who Joffrey is. I bet they're like, damn, Rhaenyra got no kids left. But yeah, thank you again, Muadweeb, who said, did you see the guy from House Goodbrook in the trailer? Yeah, well, you said that an hour ago. We went on to discuss him. Lord Goodbrook is here. He's fucked. Roddy's dead. Goodbrook's dead. Garibald Grey, if that is him. Weird cameo, but rest in peace. Oscar is surviving and fleeing, as is Black Aly. Oh god, is Black Aly going to have dialogue? Is she going to be named? Can you imagine? Thank you, Sir Peasbury, who says, will we see Peasbury's in the finale, or at least hear of Poddingfield? You know what? I'm gonna take the Haven Horde to Poddingfield. I'm gonna fucking burn your pea fields. I'm going to raise your fields and destroy your income, burn your villages. I'll take your men and your women and your children, and I'm gonna throw them in a giant pot, and I'm gonna make a stew with the peas that I stole from your fields. Okay? Then I'm gonna surround your fucking castle, and I'm gonna have trebuchets launching giant peas, mushy peas, hot mushy peas over your walls to crush. Oh, that reminds me. Almond smell sensitivity, is that gonna come back for this episode, or was the punchline essentially the poo plot, the kind of the dirt covered Baratheon assassins? Are we gonna see everyone predicting that a dragon will shit on Ormond's head? Or is Roddy gonna be like, right, is Roddy gonna be so fucking smelly that Ormond's like, just gagging, like can't even fight him? I don't know. Anyway, Peasbury, I will destroy you and your legacy and your dynasty and everything. But thank you for the money. Big Kermit, holy shit. Kermit the oh yeah, Kermit the Frog watches my streams. How you doing, Kermit? Kermit says, wait, hold on. Let me have some water. Let me read this respectfully. Thank you for the super chat from Kermit. Prediction for the finale. Kermit Tully shows up and is raw as fuck and kills Ormond and says, it's not easy being green. Absolute Muppet cinema. Yeah, that's a good point, Kermit. Kermit Tully might show up. Kermit Tully is he's the heir to House Tully in Fire and Blood, I believe. He becomes the Lord after his father, Lord Elmo Tully, dies after Second Tumbleton, not because of the battle, but because he drinks some bad water and he dies of an illness. His younger brother is Oscar, whereas in the show they made the younger brother the Lord because they didn't want to call anyone Kermit and they didn't want to call anyone Grover. So Elmo. They kept Grover and Oscar, but they purged Elmo and Kermit. The Muppet Tullys aren't fucking funny. They're not cute. I will forever be a Ryan Condal Groiper, and I will stand that bald fucking guy for purging the Muppet Tully, the two worst Muppet Tullys. Based. Thank you. Okay, moving on. Thank you for the super chat from... See, when I read these on Streamlabs, it doesn't show like the name as it's portrayed on YouTube. It shows the @ which is usually just a string of letters, and I can't fucking put them together and work out what it's meant to be. Let me try and find the actual original fucking name. Because it's just a string. I'm like, ugh. Oh, I don't even have... Oh, for fuck's sake. Wait, give me a sec, fellas. Well. Whoa. What am I doing? Let me get the names of the super chatters right, so I'm not just like waffling. Do not let me waffle. No one will be seated for this part of the live stream. Wait a minute. Wait, no, what am I doing? Give me a sec. God, what am I doing? Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, no. Why don't I just move that there? That makes way more sense. You having a nice break, everyone? You honk snowing? Okay. Oh, that's more like it. That hasn't helped at all. I still can't work out what that name is. Drakenis Strom. Oh, Drake Nystrom. It's either Drakenis Drake Nystrom, I think. Drake Nystrom. Let's go with Jesus Christ. Okay. Do you think Gwaine will poison Ulf as Hobart basically does not exist here? Yes. There is no Hobart Hightower to poison Ulf. So Fire and Blood. Ulf sleeps during Second Tumbleton. After the battle, Hobart is like, well, this crazy rapist drunk has a dragon and wants to seize power, so we need to kill him. So he's like, here, have some arbor gold. Have some delicious arbor gold. And then Ulf says, I don't trust you, because he's like stammering, yammering. He's like, he's sweating. I'm like, hold on a second. Fucking you drink it with me. He's like, okay, sure. So he drinks it with him, and they both drink it. And Hobart's like, haha, sucker, it's poison. And Ulf dies. And Hobart's like, unfortunately, I have now poisoned myself. And also dies. Is it arbor gold or Dornish red that Ulf prefers? I can't remember. One's sweet, one's less sweet. Anyway, I think it will be Gwaine. I think it will be. I think Gwaine will be the one who sacrifices himself to kill Ulf, because Ulf is like going to do horrific shit with Silverwing. I don't think it will happen after second Tumbleton. I think it will happen before, because it wouldn't be very climactic to have Tumbleton basically be the climax of the Reach plot, and then extra scene, Ulf being poisoned. Like, it doesn't work. I think it will happen like as Tumbleton's happening, as second Tumbleton's happening, or like before it happens, right? Where the first plan is kill Ulf, the second one is Hugh, but then when they go to kill Hugh, Tumbleton hits. By the way, John Roxton killing Hugh Hammer as he goes to ride Vermithor to defend Tumbleton from the Black Army and from Seasmoke doesn't make any sense. It's one of the dumbest parts of the dance at Fire and Blood. John Roxton killing Hugh Hammer then and there makes no fucking sense. He should have gone, okay, Hugh, off you go. Go and fight Seasmoke. Go and destroy the enemy army. When you return and get off your dragon, oh, congratulations, stabbed in the fucking belly. Doing it beforehand is so stupid, because you basically you've cooked yourself. You have lost the battle, right? If you want to assassinate someone who rides a dragon, let him win the battle first, kill him when he returns. Then you can still have the moment of, like, imagine Hugh returns and he's like, oh, rest in peace, Hugh. He died in a battle. Hugh's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Never made any sense to me. Unless I'm missing something. Thank you for the super chat from Bobcat Driver, who says, just wanted to say thanks for all you do for the community. Love your videos. Thank you very much, Bob. Cat Driver. I'm seeing the Mad King on the 18th. Hope you enjoy your show as well. Awesome. I'm seeing the Mad King on the 20th of this month. So it's deliberately post Hot D, so I'm not stressed with Hot D work. It would be a nice little holiday with my friends. Yeah, enjoy. I've avoided pretty much everything about it, so that's fun. And of course, I'll have a big live stream breaking it down. I might do a review and so on. Thank you, Julian Kerr, who says, Tumbleton, a farce in 2 parts. Well, what's that Mark's quote? History repeats itself, first time as tragedy, second time as farce. Maybe in the context of the show, the Greens take Tumbleton off screen, then history repeats itself with Tumbleton in the finale, then the farce is Tumbleton 2. Is Tumbleton 2 Emperor Napoleon III? I think I might be stretching it a bit. No, that doesn't really make sense. Let's move on. Thank you, Ali the Dude, who says, I predict that they'll merge Tumbleton 2 and the King's Road in Season 4. That's interesting, because people are worried there's going to be a merger of Tumbleton 1 and 2 this finale, and I don't think there will be, by the way. I just don't think they can logistically do that. It would be dumb. But merging Tumbleton and the King's Road, how does that... Oh, as in Boros and the Baratheons march to Tumbleton first to basically group up with the Hightower host and the Dragon Seeds and go, okay, we're all going to march on King's Landing, because King's Landing, there's a power vacuum, Rhaenyra's gone, let's fucking take it. But then they get attacked by, well, either the Riverland army, which I think will be destroyed next episode, so more likely Cregan Stark's army. But yeah, they could do that. I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. Thank you, Benadryl, who says, spoiler alert, Tumbleton is going to be off screen, and we're going to learn what happens through exposition. How can I not respect that? It's like a half-hour episode, and the first 15 minutes is the build-up to Tumbleton, and the second 15 is Daemon sits down and just like describes what happens. And the second half hour of the episode is like Ryan Condal just kind of like Fortnite dancing. All right, thank you, Oliver Gooding, who says, now you Now you explain both battles. I don't think it would be that bad. Some of the characters could be killed later or in different, more interesting ways. What do you mean? Do you mean it wouldn't be that bad if they merged the Tumbletons, based on how I've explained both of the battles? Because I think it would be bad to basically write off the entire. First off, yeah, write off the entire Reach plot. First off, I think you need the extra threat to Rhaenyra's rule coming from Tumbleton next season. So you have Aegon, Aemond, and Tumbleton continuing. Secondly, the whole Caltrops conspiracy introduction to Unwin, it's just inherently cool. I'm sorry, but I don't want to see the Tumbletons merged and 6 characters die at once and just wrap you up, wipe the dust off your hands and go, boom, done, move on. No. Thank you, Pioneer, who says, "Hi, Haven, long time fan, first time super chatting." Oh yeah, is it just me or can anyone else not take Helmet seriously in this show ever since Duncan Egg? I am with you. I'm with you. The helmets look goofy as fuck. They look. A lot of the armor and helmets look plastic or like 3D printed. So much neck is showing, faces are showing. Duncan Egg spoiled us, even though there were flawed Duncan Egg helmets, like the Lionel Baratheon's helmet was absurd. But yeah, the goofy fucking Ormond Hightower one. Don't let him die in that. Let him take it off for no reason, just so he can die with aura, please. Ali the Dude again says Oscar's gonna die. He's not even the Lord in Fire and Blood, but he is the Lord in the show. That's the issue. He's the Lord in the show. He's the younger brother of Lord Kermit, who becomes Lord after Tumbleton 2. But he is the Lord. They're not killing off young Lord. I think he's going to be one of the few survivors, and he and Black Ali will team up with Cregan, and they will take part in Tumbleton 2. They will take part in King's Road or a merge of the two, and that's how we have Black Ali and Cregan set up some kind of potential romance or connection that leads to their marriage, etc., etc. And that will be the lads. The lads of the show will be Cregan, Black Ali, and fucking Oscar. Muad'Dib says, "What if Vermithor goes rogue to protect Silverwing?" Ooh, because Vermithor and Silverwing are basically like an old married couple. Potentially, but that would not be satisfying at all. If Hughes, I keep mixing them up. If Hughes' betrayal happens because his dragon decides to join Silverwing and betray, and it's got nothing to do with Hughes. If Hugh is robbed of agency during the betrayal and he just has to go along with it, that would be fucking terrible. That would be so bad. I'm okay with Vhagar killing Lucerys and Arax due to losing control of his dragon. That was fine. If they do that again with Hugh and that would be terrible. That would be awful. Pioneer again, who says, "I don't think that Hugh will betray the Blacks. I think his dragon will join forces with Silverwing since those two dragons love each other." Okay, yeah, so repeating what a previous super chatter said. No, that would be so terrible. Because then Hugh would just be like, "Oh, whoops, I'm now accidentally with the Greens because my dragon sided with Silverwing." Like, huh? Come on. But if that's the case, what's even the point of the cat storyline? Like, it says there are 3 replies to... Isn't that... All right. Anyway, because Koful, thank you so much. He says, "Mr. Haven, did you see Rhaenyra's new armor?" I did. It was, like I said, it was released, and then the website that released it changed the image, and the Twitter pages that posted it scrubbed it. I think they released a post-episode still that we weren't meant to see. I don't think any of us were meant to see Rhaenyra in armor. And I'm not showing it on my stream for that reason. I don't want this taken down, but... Yeah, because Koful says, "I like the reference to Matilda of Normandy and the Pillars of the Earth, but I think it looks a bit silly. I like the chainmail hood and the crown on top. I don't think it looks silly. I see people might think the kind of dragon wing shoulder things might be a bit over the top, but I think it's fine." Thank you for the super chat from... Oh god, how do I say this? It's just a string of letters. B, D, F, G, D, F, G, H, D, F, H, G, F, I, T, D, F, Y, U, T, D, T, Y, D, R, Y. A Welshman, I see. Interesting. Badug. Okay, let me actually try and pronounce this. Thank you for the super chat from Budfdfgdfit de you yut de tree dry. Thank you so much. He says, "Why is Trey the explainer so cute? I want to brush his hair." Thank you for your contribution. Your input is most valued. Shout out Trey the explainer. I need to watch more. I need to watch more Trey videos. I'm severely lacking in Trey. There's not enough Trey on the brain. I need to watch more Trey videos. Thank you for the super chat from Azor So High, who says, "My normie mate just said the others are the heroes of A Song of Ice and Fire because they're liberating everyone from living in a shithole like Westeros." Got any thoughts on that? Bro needs educating. Help me out here. Well, I'm sorry for responding so late. Sounds like you were in the midst of an argument. Well, the others, they're not liberating anyone. They're murdering everyone. The other, well, not that we know too much about their aims in the book, but if it's similar to the show, then they just want to genocide the human race. Unless you count death as being a greater state of affairs than what, being a serf in a brutal medieval world. I would say life is still better than death, even if you're, you can still be in a community, find purpose, find love, have a family as a peasant, even if you might go through horrors and hardship and famine and war and so on. I think life is always worth living at the end of the day, no matter how bad your situation is. So fuck the others, fuck the long night, choose life. The moon meteors aren't gonna do shit to my optimism. Grassroots Hegemon, thank you so much, who says, "Trebuchet the Winter Wolves in, they're there to die and just can't seem to make it happen." It's gonna be, what's that Bollywood film where it's all those like soldiers being like catapulted in the air and they all like form together and they create like a shell out of their shields and they just like fucking land and then unfurl and just I might make that a tweet actually. Winter Wolves being trebucheted. Roddy just fucking lands on his head, still can't die. Incredible. Thank you, Longshanks, who says, "If I didn't know the story, I'd assume Daeron versus Aegon was being set up as an endgame with Daeron winning. And I kind of hate that it won't be that." It is... Yeah, if you're going in blind, you're like, "Oh, Daeron must have a really interesting purpose." I can see people being like, the show ends with King Daeron the First. But it won't, yeah. Daeron's just gonna... How are they killing Daeron, actually? Assuming he doesn't die this episode, and he could die this episode. But I think it would be pointless, because if you're killing Daeron, then you just merge the Tumbletons and kill everyone. Like, there's no point in having the Caltrops and the Tumbleton plot with no Daeron. It just doesn't... Like, the Hightower host will just leave. Like, there's no fucking point. Makes more sense for Daeron to be there and for Hugh and Ulf to basically be like, "Right, we're putting Hugh on the throne. We'll give you Dragonstone or something, but join us." Or maybe Hugh and Ulf will try to... Maybe we won't have King Ulf. Maybe Hugh and Ulf will try to puppeteer Daeron and be like, "Yeah, you're going to be our little bitch king." I don't know. But... yeah, how are they killing Daeron? Because he has... Is it 2 potential deaths listed in Fire and Blood? One is that the sellsword, the Mirish sellsword captain called Black Trombo, a former actor, former mummer, like is riding through the streets of Tumbleton, while it's being attacked by the Blacks, and he just like swings a mace or a morning star or a flail or something into Daeron's fucking head and just kills him. Another is that Daeron is in his pavilion and then it catches fire when the city's attacked, and then the pavilion falls on his head and he just dies. Oh yes, someone in the chat saying, or he's cut down in the streets by just a random soldier. Yeah. How are they I don't think they're giving... Okay, he's not getting the meme death. He's not getting the joke death. He's not getting the pavilion falling on his head. Because while that's interesting from the perspective of like, Fire and Blood is real history, and sometimes random shit happens, and sometimes you get a badass fight between Daemon and Aemond, and other times you just get hit with the anarchic madness of life and a very important player on a board is crushed by a burning pavilion. Doesn't quite work in the context of the show. It's not anticlimactic in a satisfying way. It's just dumb, I think. Doesn't work for that character. Works for anticlimax works for Kristen when he's doing a whole, I want a death the singers will sing of, and then you're like, that's being deprived of him actively by the people trying to kill him and blah blah blah. With Daeron, I think that's dumb. Black Trombo doesn't exist. They're not going to introduce Black Trombo just to kill. God, I don't know. Maybe they give him Hugh's death and he. No, you know what I think it'll be. Okay, so I've always found, and Quinn disagrees with me. We need a bigger chat on this, and most people disagree with me. I've never liked the whole Adam versus riderless Tessarian versus riderless Vermithor. You know why? I don't give a fuck about the dragons. I care about the dragon riders. So for me, Adam's death is like, there's no personal stake. That's not true. But it's like, it's not Adam versus someone. It's Adam against two beasts. And he's putting down two beasts to save the town from being annihilated. But also, it's not as fun as if the beasts were ridden. So like, I think either Hugh and we are going to see Hugh and Vermithor versus Adam on Sea Smoke and then Daeron and Tessarian and like a team up where Adam and Daeron team up to take down Vermithor and Hugh, or Daeron and Adam team up to take on riderless Vermithor, who's going Godzilla mode on the town. But either way, I think Daeron and Adam are going to temporarily team up to take out a bigger threat, and that will be Daeron being the daring, and then Adam and Daeron tragically die defending the town. But the histories will paint it as, oh, they fought each other to death, but actually they were team. Maybe, you know what I mean? That could work for me. Right. Anyway, thank you, Kofu, who says, I think that Allison is going to Tumbleton to kill Daeron just to complete her collection of sun murder plot. Can you imagine? She goes to Tumbleton, if I kill you, Rhaenyra will let Helena go. No, she'll learn. No, I actually think Allison's going to go to Tumbleton. Oh, God, is she going to be in the Caltrops? Oh, go away. Allison, go away. Is it going to be Allison in the fucking Caltrops? Daeron and... Allison instead of Unwin Peak? Absolute cinema. Absolute. My one issue is... Well, no, sorry. One of my issues is the idea of, like, Ormond dies and then gets replaced by Unwin Peak for the Caltrops, because there's no way you can't have Unwin Peak next season. But then for casual audiences, it's like the scheming, powerful Lord, Psycho Lord, has died and he gets replaced by Unwin Peak, who's basically just like another Ormond. So it might kind of feel a bit like, what's the point in killing the old guy to bring in this guy? But anyway. Thank you for the super chat from Ali the Dude, who says, Gwaine can't die, he's the last High Tower in Hot D. Sure, but there are other High Towers. He's not... Nothing stated that Gwaine is the last of the High Tower line. I'm sure there are others. He could live. And Rhaena goes on to marry a Garment High Tower, so maybe Rhaena will go on to marry Gwaine, but I think it's more likely Rhaena's going to have the Nettles ending, hiding in a veil, living life, not as a princess, but as just a wild dragon rider. Or Rhaena will die after jumping from Sheepstealer with Dark Sister and murdering Aemond, and then they crash into the God's Eye. That would be based. I'd like that one. That would be fun. Do we agree? That would be fun. Pioneer says, I think I might have stolen an earlier super chat idea. Sorry. That's okay, Pioneer. Thank you, Azor So High, who says, Haven, you reckon Aegon III will get aged up in season 4? How can they do that, though? Because we have established he's a toddler. If he comes back at the end of the war, like, I am now 10 years old. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah, no, I think he's just a toddler. I think he's just a toddler, and the Regency will be he's a toddler onwards. We're nearly finished the super chats, and then we will go through the promo stills, and then we'll wrap up. Thank you, Pioneer, again, who says, do you think A Song of Ice and Fire would be more interesting if they had the same kinds of cannons used in the 100 Years' War? That's an interesting idea. That is interesting. And does you know, make you think about Westeros actually evolving technologically? Like, if it actually did that, what kind of stories would unfold? Why aren't more fantasy stories inspired by 100 Years' War, 30 Years' War, Why isn't there more like, you know, Renaissance fantasy? Why is it all medieval? Just you wait till Lord Haven releases his. I've got 2 sagas on the brain, 2 book sagas on the brain, 2 planned. One is like classic, like medieval fantasy. The other's something a bit spicier. Maybe this year or next year I'll get working on my first book. And the best thing is I get to go, hey, I have an audience. Fantasy Haven fans, Haven heads, check out my new book. History Haven fans, check out my new book, because you know History Haven is dropping after Hot D. History, honestly, the sooner I get to 100k on Fantasy Haven, the sooner I drop History Haven. So hit the subscribe button, fellas. Fellas and Foyd, smash the sub button. Pioneer, I'm so tired. Oh god, it's 2 a.m. and I still haven't finished the fucking Kristen video, and I need to finish the Kristen video. It needs to, because I can't release it after. I can't release it after. After fucking Hot D finale, because I'm referencing the first 7 episodes of the season only, and also it's like the finale's out. Kristen Cole video is kind of, it's almost like, was this guy? I need to release Kristen Cole early Sunday, early for Americans, probably like afternoon for Brits, but it's so not done. I'm like 95% done with animation. I'm gonna be frank, 0% done with video clips. So I'm happy to do an all-night. Oh god, I'm so tired. I don't want to do an all-nighter, but it's the only one I have to do. It's fine. I'll do an all-nighter. I'll do an all-nighter. It's fine. And video clips is easy. I'm just boop, 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 boop. You know, that's not fucking hard. Do you think Song of Ice and... Oh, I've already read that one. Thank you again, Pioneer. He says, I mean, you think that the Alchemist would create something similar to gunpowder at this point? Yeah, there's no gunpowder in Song of Ice and Fire, for obvious reasons. George doesn't want to deal with cannons and guns being in his world at this point. Pioneer says, cannons might make the dragons less impactful. There's probably some fun alternate universe stuff you could discuss, right? In terms of what would happen if gunpowder was invented and then you give a certain date. What if gunpowder existed during the Dance of the Dragons? You know what I mean? Ooh, we'll have to see. Let me double check Streamlabs, just in case I got a Streamlabs donation, because they only come in via Streamlabs. Another one from Pioneer, then we'll check out the pictures. Cannons at Winterfell would be so cool. That would be fire. Stannis with cannons? Like, shooting the cannons into the ice to make the phrase fall? Anyway. Right. Oh, there's a video already of Gunpowder in Westeros? I'll have to check it out. Okay, only 4 images. We have Daemon and Rhaenyra. Yes, we saw this. The armor's in the back. I think this is Daemon getting ready to leave. I think this is Rhaenyra being like, I'm going to get coronated. Daemon's like, for fuck's sake, just let me burn Tumbleton so we don't have to bother with the fight that we'll see where we go. Aemond. Oh my god, he looks depressed as hell. Aemond's depressed. I thought I had a thing with my mother. I thought there was something between us, and now she's betrayed me. My own mother tried to kill me. Going full blown. Only have one mother, and it's Alice Rivers. Fully towards Alice. This might be the thing that makes him snap and basically go, I'm going to burn the fucking Riverlands. Because we need him to go full-blown psycho villain and annihilate the Riverlands, and that's what pushes Daemon to be like, I'm going to take you out, bro. I definitely think he's getting a vision, but what is the vision? What is the vision? We shall see. His sapphire looks very strange, depending on, like... Like, this one looks like... it just looks like he has a blurry blue contact lens over his actual eye, whereas the shot from the trailer looked like an actual sapphire. I'm a bit confused. Wait, I said the line. I'm a bit confused. Alice Rivers, I'm a bit confused. My mother has left me, Alice. We must marry. Daeron. I love how all the others are like decent quality pictures, and then this one's just like fucking. There's low res Daeron. looking depressed. Yeah, this is pre-battle. Please live, Daeron. I want to see more of you. And then we have Almond Aura farming, just mogging right now. Incredible armor. Look at the set. Look, he's got the gods. He's got the fucking gods on his breastplate. Crazy. And the high tower. Yeah, boy. Yeah, no, I think he's like, the vague posting ends. Ulf is on our side. And Ulf will destroy the army. And Ulf doesn't come because he's drunk. And Ormond's like, fuck. And then the Black Army infiltrate the city. Then Ulf comes late and destroys the army outside the walls. And he goes, yes, we did it. We won. We just need to kill the army in the city walls. But we've won. And then the irony is that Roddy comes in like, knock, knock, motherfucker. And then just like fucking cuts him down. There we go. So Daeron wearing an Indian wedding dress. It wouldn't be a dress, would it? But yeah, I'm really torn about whether I want Ormond to die or not, because he's such a fun character, such a fun actor, but also it does make sense for him to die in terms of for the story to progress in Tumbleton, and it would make for a cool final fight death scene, him and Roddy, but also I kind of want him to stay. Like, I don't know. Damn. Anyway. We are good. I am... Oh. Fellas, I'm so tired. I really want to just go to sleep. But I can't. Because the real Kristen is haunting me. I have struggled for 2 weeks to work on the real Kristen, and I don't fucking know why. I just can't do it. It's because I'm burnt out. I have ADHD burnout from not just all the Hot D weeks, but the 2 months leading up to it, doing a bunch of art and audio and stuff. Nonetheless, that's no excuse. Oh, I don't want... I don't want to release Real Kristen late tomorrow. And I don't want to release it after episode 8. Releasing it after episode 8, I think, would be just silly, you know? Kristen dropping early tomorrow? Fine. Okay? Cool. But it needs to be fucking done. Maybe instead of audio clips, I just do screenshots of the scenes. Because it's not the animation's like 95% done. The animation's fine. It's just the bit where I'm like, in the show, he does this and this and this. The least visually interesting part of the video. Just screenshots? Or is that cheap? Is that a bit lazy? Do I just need more coffee in me? I'm gonna have to be working till like, fucking me. I don't know how long this is gonna take. I have so much. I always underestimate how long it takes to record clips and then slot them in. Oh my god. I might do a mixture where I have a clip, but then I freeze the frame and I kind of show a still image for a while, just so I don't need a clip every second. People, I know people will still watch. I know people will, like, you know, I could release Kristen in a month's time and it will be successful, right? I just want it fucking done before the finale, so that when the finale's out, I can focus purely on, you know, get the episode 8 quickie out. It would feel weird to release Real Kristen after week 8. Unless I just say fuck it and I delay Real Kristen for like 2 weeks and I'm like, I'm going to focus on week 8 material, like the episode 8 quickie and maybe History of House Tully, maybe a book versus show, depending on who dies. And then I do Kristen like a week later. That's like the big boy. Shit, I don't know what to do. I don't know why I'm like debating this with chat at 2 a.m., 2:13 a.m. Do I pull an all-nighter and release the video like early tomorrow and then just go to sleep? And it doesn't matter if my sleep schedule's fucked up because I work from home, so it's all good. Or do I basically say, pause Real Kristen, next week, work on the review, work on let's say the real Ormond, right? Work on the House Tully video. I have the assets and audio done, so that it'll be Oscar's gonna be in this episode. It'll be a nice time to release it. And then I release Kristen like a week after the show's over. Because the problem is that I've based my real Kristen video around the fact that I've based it on episodes 1 to 7. So if there's Kristen content in episode 8, then I'm gonna have to redo everything. Well, I'd have to do that. No, I wouldn't. See, people are telling me to sleep. The issue is that I went out my way to have coffee only a few hours ago because I thought I'd be doing an all-nighter, and if I try to sleep now, I might be fucked. I might not be able to. 'Cause I've got coffee in the system. Fuck. Sleep is good for creativity. I don't need to be creative. I just need to put some clips down. But can I finish it? Can I get it done? Because it's a lot of, like, it's a big chunk of the video that's the video clips. I need to screen record them on HBO Max. Then I need to post them and clip them. And it's not as hard as animation. Animation's the hard bit, right? But it could take me, like, a long time. But I'm so fucking tired. Do I just work on other videos for next week and then I just have Kristen in the background and I release? I'm getting mixed messages from chat. Some people are saying stay up and finish the video. Other people are like go to sleep. God. Also, yeah, I don't overthink it. Someone says, bro, that's my life. I overthink everything. It's just feeling tired. There's nothing wrong with that. Poll. Should I do a YouTube poll? Do I go to sleep or finish Real Kristen? I might do a YouTube poll for fun, actually. All right, poll coming up, then I'm ending the fucking stream because this is getting ridiculous. I'm surprised people are still watching. I'm just rambling to myself about nothing. We also got decent views. We got like over 500 viewers earlier. Do I? Oh, right. Do I? What the fuck? Let me type. Let me fucking. What? Let me type in the question. What is this? Do I? I'm like, to every few letters I type in, it like unselects the text box. Oh my fucking. Do I finish? You know what? I'm going to type it somewhere else and then copy paste it because you should fucking. Right. What is YouTube, please? What are you doing? Please just let me post the poll. Stop fucking with me. I'm so frazzled. It's good. I've only got 1 week left. Oh, Real Kristen. Then an episode 8 review. Live stream with Quinn, with Alex the Normie. No prediction stream next week, but Quinn and I can do like, I could do a quickie reviewing all of season 3. I could do a live stream discussing the entirety of season 3 with Quinn, and I can do a live stream predicting season 4 with Quinn. That'd be fun. History of House Tully, all lined up. Book versus show, we'll have to see. Harrenhal. Here's the thing, Harrenhal. 25 minutes of audio. I did all the audio. I did all the art in the run up to Hot D. Never got the time to actually make the video. I'm going to have Harrenhal in the back burner so that when Hot D's finished and I kind of take a bit of a break, I'll spend a few hours every day doing Harrenhal in the background slowly. Then I can train myself to compartmentalize stuff a bit more. Oh, I just realized, do I finish Kristen Cole or go to sleep? And the answers I gave were yes and no. The answers I gave were yes and no. Okay. You know what? I made a mistake. Let me do the poll again. Let me do the poll again. Wait, someone said something interesting earlier. Yeah, someone said, yeah, Flame in the chat earlier said, you'll need to do the real Ormond, Daron, Roddy, Helena, Ulfhew, Adam. Jesus Christ, save me. No, I think at the very most, I'll be real Ormond, which will be a pretty short video, but I think it's worth analysing his character in the show and just bringing up the stuff he does in the books, like Honey Wine, Long Table, Bitterbridge, Tumbleton, etc. Real Helena, 100%. I don't even have anything prepped for that. Real Helena is important. Whether that's something I work on next week or that's just on the back burner for, next month or something, we'll see. Real Roddy, I don't need to do. Real Daron, Daron's not dying, fingers crossed. Ulf and Hugh, another time. Adam could die. They could kill off Adam. Real Adam, I'd just kind of be spoiling season 4, so I'm not sure if I even want to do Real Adam. Okay, no, let me stop the let me stop the fucking poll, because yes, okay. Okay, stop. Okay. Let's try this again, fellas. Finish video versus sleep. The real poll is out. Do I stay up until the real Kristen Cold is fucking done? Oh, of course. Thank you, Longshacks. Glub Shitters. Ranking Hot D Glub Shitters. That's another stream I have planned. I don't have planned. There's nothing. I don't plan anything. Oh, God. More people want me to sleep? To what end, fellas? To what end? I'm beginning to regret the fact that I had an evening coffee assuming I do an all-nighter, because I'm now like, I low-key want to sleep. But I had a fucking coffee. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to sleep. Roddy would finish. Yes, Lonely Ocean Roddy would finish. Oh my God. Oh, fuck me. Health. It's just it's a one-off all-nighter. It's not like I do this all the time. It's like a specific get real Kristen out before. And the problem is that it's like, oh, you can just finish it tomorrow normally. Just finish it normally tomorrow. And then release it. But the problem is that if I release a real Kristen in episode 8, in week 8, and then I also release a quickie and also release House Tully, I'm worried that the viewership will eat into each other and I can't. You know what? You know what? See, I've done this before. I was a uni student once. Undiagnosed with ADHD. Trust me. I've done my fair share of all-nighters, and by all-nighters, I mean I had a bunch of notes, but I hadn't started my essays, and it was like 6 p.m., and I'd work until 4 p.m. the next day, which is when it was due. And I just work all the way on coffee, get it done. I'd get a 2-1, so that's between a 60 and 70%. And my friends would be like, how the fuck did you do that? And I'd be like, magic. Turns out it wasn't magic. It was hyper-focus, and I didn't know what that was, but I'm not doing a two-parter. I don't do two-part videos. You know what? I genuinely wanted to do an all-nighter. I think I'm being convinced to not do it. You know why? Because what I could do instead is get up to... Okay. I'm acting like releasing Kristen when Hot D is out is really fucking important. When I could just release it. Yes, you could say the ideal time would have been the week he died, sure. But, like, I released the real Viserys, like, before season 2, so 2 years after he died in the show. One of my most successful videos. People will watch real Kristen. Okay. You know what? I don't need to stay up tonight. I have decreed I am not staying up tonight. I'm going to get up tomorrow, and I'm going to work my ass off on Kristen until 2 a.m. when episode 8 begins. Maybe I'll have it finished by then. Maybe I won't. But either way, I'm going to have a good night's sleep. I'm going to work on Kristen tomorrow. Then I'll put it on the back burner. And after episode 8, I'll do the episode 8 quickie. Maybe I release Real Kristen after episode 8. Maybe I release it like a week after and prioritize History of House Tully or something. I don't know. I'm overthinking, and why am I overthinking on a live stream? No one here. What? Who's watching this? Why are over 400 people still watching me decide whether I stay up and do an all night? I usually talk out loud like this to myself, pacing up and down my flat, taking half an hour to decide my next course of action. Unfortunately, you are subject to this, it appears. Do I cut this out of the stream once I've finished, or do I keep it in for the archives? Maybe I just never release Real Kristen Cole, and me not releasing it is a commentary on how the histories forgot him because of Butcher's Ball, even though the histories did not forget him. Because they talk about him. The histories talk about how lame his death was. You know, in it. I'm tired. I think I'm gonna have to sleep. Oh, but I had fucking coffee at like 9 p.m. Oh god, I'm not. There's no way I'm gonna be able to sleep, right? What am I? I can't sleep on. Coffee's in your system for a while. Oh, coffee's in your system for a while. Like, I'm talking like 8 to 9 p.m. I had a coffee, right? That's not good. Oh, if I'm lying in bed just unable to sleep, tossing and turning, pause, as in moving my body, not the other kind of tossing. I don't know if I'm going to be able... You know what? I'm going to... Right. I have officially... Lord Haven has officially decreed that he will go to bed now, get up tomorrow, work on Real Kristen all day up till, 2 a.m. when Hot D comes out. 2 a.m. And hopefully by then it'll be done. And then I would, with a finished video, all saved and ready, and I can work out whether I drop it next week or whether I kind of save it for like a week after Hot D to give other videos time to breathe. Maybe there will be something in episode 8 that references Kristen, or maybe his head appears again and I can quickly slide that into the video. Okay, let's go to sleep. Thank you so much. I am going to listen to ASMR. I am going to lie in bed and listen to some ASMR. I'll do that. I think Goodnight Moon dropped today. You better believe I'm listening to that shit. Honk schnoo, honk me me me. I'm more of a schnoo than a me me me. That's all I gotta say. Okay, focus. What are we doing? Like the video, like the stream, subscribe to Fantasy Haven. We're talking Real Kristen Cole. We're talking episode 8 quickie next week. We're talking season 3 quickie next week. We're talking analyzing the episode with Quinn. We're talking analyzing the season with Quinn. We're talking predicting episode 4 with Quinn. We're talking analyzing the season with my friend Alex and Normie, who hasn't read Fire and Blood, isn't engaged in internet discourse, just enjoys the show for what it is. That'll be fun. We're talking fucking History of House Tully 10-minute animated video to ride off the Oscar wave. Long live Oscar. We're talking Harrenhal video on the back burner. We're talking ranking Hot D Glupshito live stream. We're talking fucking what was the other one? Oh, accents. We had a game of accents. We had 97 Kingdoms accents. Hot D accents also coming out. And I'm seeing the stage play on the 20th of this month on is it Tuesday, Thursday? I can't remember. But I'm gonna see it and I can do live streams and reviews of that. Post Hot D, there'll be videos on the back burner. I am gonna have to obviously rest a bit because don't know if any of you know what ADHD burnout is, but oh boy, I'm gonna have to. But there'll be stuff on the. There's me. All right, you get the bit. Bye, everyone. This was awesome. This was fun. I do literally have one super chat from 15 minutes ago I didn't answer. Please let it be Ormond who's dyeing Daeron's hair, says Muad'Dweeb. I agree. I think him having non-Targaryen hair makes the fake Darren plot so fucking ridiculous, so stupid. Doesn't make any sense, but it's all fine. It's not fine. Oh god, I'm tired. I think I need to sleep. Nothing I'm saying makes any sense. Yes, no. The actor said that he, both James Norton, both the actor for Ormond and the actor for Daeron said we don't know whether his hair's being dyed or not. And it's like, okay, well, I hope you can easily retcon that. Season 4 said it is being dyed because he wants have Hightower hair because I want you to be more like a Hightower than a Targaryen, right? Doesn't make sense that the fake Daeron would have Targaryen hair. Why they bother blanching the hair, as they say, medieval bleaching, because everyone would know that Alicent had a kid. Also, it kind of throws a spanner in the whole sort of Alicent obsessing over Rhaenyra's kids not having Targaryen hair, and it doesn't come across as an intentional hypocritical moment. It comes across as a retcon. So what are we doing? Anyway. Right. Oh my god, this is sleepy and burnout and coffee mixed together. Okay, I'm ending the poll. 109 votes. Oh my god. The final results, 54% of people say I should sleep. 46% of people say I should finish the video. I'm gonna sleep and I'm gonna try and finish the video tomorrow and release it week 8. Oh, I'm so disappointed in myself. It's fine though, I'm not a perfectionist. Hold on a second. A chaotic perfectionist who's late to everything and can't get anything done in time, but is kind of fun and creative at the same time. George R. R. Martin, welcome back. We're the same. I'm like George R. R. Martin, but less talented. When is George supposed to see the play? Today. George saw the play today. Today was the official premiere. Before today were the previews, many of which were cancelled. The official was today. And guess what? Next week, I get to see the play. I get to see the play with 3 of my friends. And it's going to be so wonderful and so lovely, and I can't wait. I do need to end the stream. I'm probably going to cut this entire last half hour out because I think I've got 1 week of Hot D, 1 week of insanity. I'm going to go week 8. I'm going to work the hardest I've worked. Then I'm going to take a tiny smidgen of a break from work because I think my nerves are fraying and I'm going a bit insane. No, I'm not. I'm going to start working on my book series. The book series starts when Hot D is over. No, History Haven. I'm going to start History Haven once Hot D is officially climaxed. Pause. Once the show's over, that's